station. Sports Hub headlines.
We start with Bruins news. They have a first-round pick in tonight's NHL draft. They'll select 23rd overall after making the playoffs this past season. They also have single selections in rounds 2 and 3 as well. In other team news, the head coach in Providence, Ryan Mujanel, has left the organization. He's a new assistant coach in Vancouver. ESPN continues to report that the odds are very much in favor of the Celtics trading Jaylen Brown this summer. A report out of Charlotte last night indicates that despite making a big trade involving LaMelo Ball yesterday, the Hornets are one of the teams talking to Brad Stevens about Brown. At the World Cup, the U.S. finished up group play with a lot of reserves and a 3-2 loss to Turkey in L.A. late last night. Austin Trusty and Sebastian Berhalter each scored goals for the U.S., but they allowed the game winner in the 98th minute. The American squad is still the winner of their group. They'll play Bosnia-Herzegovina in the knockout round Wednesday night in Santa Clara, California. Today, group play will continue in Foxborough with France facing Norway at 3 p.m. Red Sox began a 4-game series with the Yankees with a win last night, 6-3 at Fenway Park. Connolly Early picked up the win. He allowed 2 runs in 6 innings. Aroldis Chapman left the bases loaded in the 9th, but picked up the save. 2 teams will play again tonight. And Major League Baseball yesterday proposed a major change to the length of contracts starting next season. The league now wants a maximum length of 5 years to free agent contracts and a maximum of 15% of the team's payroll. A max of 6 years if you're re-signing your own player. The union predictably not happy with that proposal. The current labor agreement expires December 1st. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing. Right now, during their Beat the Summer promotion, Sports Hub listeners get 10% off the cost of a new roof. Offer ends July 6th. Call East Coast Metal Roofing and never replace your roof again. 844-611-ECMR or eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
on 98.5.
Fingerman, heard about you.
Yeah.
We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
That's gross.
Not a great cook, but I do cook.
When I asked him about the sides,
Kick them in the balls.
I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior.
Blaze Bailey is omitted.
Toucher and Hardy
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
So just whacked his elbow on the microphone. Up next.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are show by name Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. And you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and get involved in that way. Download the podcast where you get podcasts. A big show on the way today. Bert Breer will be in for an hour. Talk on Jaylen Brown. We have the news. Max, our good friend Cedric Maxwell, is going to be joining us. So that should be fun as he can talk about this Jaylen Brown stuff that's been going on.
Choo.
That's right. And he can talk about how they're playing with house money. You know, Brian Windhorst says.
Thank you.
Brian Windhorst says that they don't believe they can win with Brown. That's what he said yesterday. That's a quote. And that, so obviously he has heard that from someone within the organization. So much for they were playing with house money. That's what someone in the organization disagrees. That's all. We were talking about this. We have a 5:45 pre-show meeting. And when I come in, almost 100% of the time, John and Hardy are already here. And then at 5:44, John, in a very bold and alpha way, stands up without comment and walks into the conference room for the meeting.
Right.
Well, you and I sit here.
Yeah.
And he goes in there. Oftentimes, he's the first one in there.
It is his way of saying F around time is over. And it's time to get down to business.
Yeah. Ass grabbing has been fun, fellas, but
yeah,
this meeting's about to commence.
And he is he's the fun stopper. He's the work starter, and he just stands up and he leaves. He doesn't say anything. He just stands up and he walks out. We'll often be mid conversation.
Yeah.
Nope, it's all done.
He's like, the quicker I get in there, the quicker the show's over in my mind.
Yeah.
Is how he thinks about it.
A bit of a clock watcher when you think about it. He's watching the clock to make sure it's time to go in there and start the meeting. But I think you're right. I think it's all a means to just get this day over with, get this show over with, get this day over with. It makes me worry. What are you racing to get to? Just the end of it all, John? You just have a big calendar at home where you just
die someday.
Cross off the days. It's like I maybe got 2,000 of these left if I'm lucky.
I am showing the producer of this show, Ryan Beaton, some respect. As for example, Ryan was sitting alone at the head of that table today waiting for all of us to come in. And now he has been bumped up to the man in charge. So I don't want him to sit in there by himself.
Well, you were doing this before Ryan was in here.
Yeah, you've been doing it for years.
I've been doing before that, it was Adam who was sitting in there by himself. Adam was usually the first one in there. So?
Well, you've gone in there when you were the first one in there, too.
I have, but usually.
Well, how would you know if Ryan's in there? Because you can't see the conference room.
I can't, but at 5, we have a pre-show meeting at 5:45, so at about 5:44 and 45 seconds, I'll get up and walk in there. And more often than not, I am second into the room. Adam 12, and now Ryan will usually be the first person in there.
Yeah, but you notice how he said, I see, like he basically said, I'm showing respect to Ryan because Ryan's already in there, and then he had to admit that he didn't know Ryan was in there. That was a bit of a stumble on his part.
You found me out.
You could argue Fred can see into the conference room, though.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I can see it. You can't argue.
Point.
I can't.
No, that's right.
Well, we know that he can see it.
We know he can see in there. You're right about that.
Yes, I can see in there.
I've forgotten about that.
I didn't realize how disrespectful it is to Ryan to not be in there at 5:45 sharp. Ryan, I can't apologize to you enough. I'm sure it's a horrible strain on you to sit there for 2 minutes at some days while you were just ignored.
Pre-show meetings at 5:45. I'm in there at 5:45.
No, I know, but you just stand up wordless.
Well, do you want me to say, okay, guys, fun's over, let's go?
No.
Which would be worse?
Well, no, that would be worse, obviously. But if you said, if you just said, first of all, I'm busting your balls, but Hardy and I do say stuff occasionally when you get up. We're just like, oh, Johnny. Like, alpha move. Like,
power move. That's
like,
what you're
if you were like, if you were like, just like, I'm going in.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's 5:45, or I'm going in.
Well, if I say I'm going in, then the narrative flips to, oh, are you really? Okay.
Well, I think that's a little, like, unfair. I don't know if everything you say off air is mocked, and I don't think that's necessarily fair.
There's a healthy percentage that is, however.
Off air, the things that you say are constantly...
Not constantly.
This is off air.
Okay.
John, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that off air... That on air, yeah. Like
we spend so much time mocking what you say on air. If we also expand that out to the things you do off air,
it's got to be tiring after a while.
I mean, that's just there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, I mean, that's you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that we are constantly cutting you down off the air. No, I don't think
that is not what I meant.
No, I know, but I don't. We don't even bust your balls in real life about going in there. Ever. This is probably the first you've ever heard of it, unless we've talked about it on the air before. It's just we were mentioning it today. We're like, oh, Johnny.
Yeah.
It's not like we're like, what a dickhead. I can't believe you went in there. It's just like a little patter that we sometimes have.
Yeah.
It's like, John, oh boy, that's the alpha in the room. Dan, hello, Dan.
Hey, in the bird world, it's called peacocking, but be careful because it's a mating ritual, so he might be horny. Is there a big ass around?
No,
not at this hour.
Well,
not in the building, no.
Only if Nick is in there.
Okay.
Yeah, but John's straight head.
Yeah.
He's at the heterosexual.
Well, I can admire from a distance. It doesn't raise any levels of anything.
So last night, I was looking for something to do. So there was a premiere of the new Jackass movie. I believe it's called Past and Last. And I can't imagine it's in for a theater run. So I saw it. I love Jackass. And they start it with the first thing that Johnny Knoxville ever did for Big Brother, where he shoots himself with the handgun in a bulletproof vest, and they're not working for a TV show, so it's like two guys with a home video camera like out in this canyon, freaking out because he's shooting himself in the chest. So and they're like no one will shoot him, they're obviously not going to shoot him, so they're just sitting there taping him. And then they have to get the hell out of there because they just shot a gun off. And so it starts with that. So, that was off a Big Brother video called either Boob or the S Word. I think it was Boob was the first one. But that was how that all started. So it was nice to see that. But I'd say about 20% of the movie is new stuff. And I understand, Knoxville can't do anything anymore, because he's so messed up from that, especially that last one, the last 2 movies ago where the bull hit him, which they show again. But they even show stuff from the last movie with the new cast.
That's
so
weird.
Bam Margera's in it a lot, not now, but from back in the day. Well, I guess he's okay. His parents were at the premiere and stuff. But first of all, there were probably 6 people in this theater. It was the only time that the movie was showing. I saw it in Watertown.
Where's there a movie theater in Watertown?
Yeah.
Arsenal Yards.
Oh, really? Right up the street from the old station up there?
But I'll tell you this. Listen to this. So you buy your beverage. Large. It's got one of those fountains. It's Pepsi products. That's fine.
That is a shock.
But you do it. It doesn't have the same joie de vivre as the Chestnut Hill movie theater. It's not even close. But I went out in the middle of the movie theater to refill my soda.
What'd they say?
They had a almost police tape up saying that you were not allowed to access the refreshment area again, and it was a 7:30 showing.
Wait a second. This is all the time? You fill up once and that's it?
It's the only time I've ever been there. And you buy a fountain, you buy a cup, there's a fountain. Oof. And then they had at least for this thing, they had a thing up. Now, I don't know if they had closed all the concessions down and they were cleaning up or something. But I finished that soda pretty quickly.
Wow.
So it was a half an hour into the movie. I'm 8 o'clock at night. I'm even maybe before 8 o'clock at night, it was 7:20. So maybe a little before 8. Chestnut Hill's in Chestnut Hill, and they have 9:30 showings. They have 10 o'clock showings.
Yeah.
I don't know a 7:30 showing, and they don't even let you access the soda machine. How much does that cost? Well, I think I know.
11 cents.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
that's way too high. No.
I think you're right.
Yeah, no, I think I am right because it's a box of syrup.
Yep.
That and then it's water. It's just carbonated water, which they have a gas tank that carbonates the water. You worked at restaurants. I mean, in the back they have the shelves with the syrup on it. The amount of syrup required for a cup, regardless of the size, 36 ounces, say, of soda is very, very small.
Especially if you put ice in there. Then it's much even smaller.
Yeah. But just regardless, I'm going to give you a like a crazy scenario. Like you're just going nuts. You're pouring it into your mouth. You can't have enough of it. Someone look at what a box of like Coca-Cola syrup costs, because I bet you it's like $50, and I bet you get, I don't know, Hardy, 500, 600, 700 sodas out of it. Like I think you're talking more like fractions of a penny. Yeah. Now the cup costs them 11 cents, but you're not asking for a new cup. It's basically of no consequence to anyone if you refill that. You're getting down to fractions of a cent.
Yeah, it had to have been like a closing it down for the night, which is also odd. Like a Thursday night in the summertime, you'd think they would keep things open for a while. But I didn't even know there was a theater over at the Arsenal Yard.
Neither did I.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I was just saying last night, I wanted to see the Jackass movie, and Marcy looked at me like, "Good for you." I said, "No, the boy will go with me. The boy and I will do that either tonight or at some point over the weekend." Now he is not like fully immersed in the Jackass world, so I think he'll enjoy it, even like the old footage, because he hasn't seen it all before. He's seen some stuff, but I think
he'll laugh.
Yeah.
He'll like it. Okay, I found it.
I'm looking on Amazon.
Okay, well, but I can tell you what it breaks down to. Cost per serving. The raw syrup usually costs between 0.02 to 0.05 cents per ounce. Dollars. So 2 cents to 5 cents per ounce.
Yep.
And I don't think there's an ounce of syrup
it's
necessarily into the thing.
30 cents an ounce is what it comes down to.
15 to 30.
Yeah, so, I mean, but you're right. How many ounces are in each?
2 cents to 5 cents an ounce. A typical 16-ounce fountain drink costs a restaurant between 15 cents to 30 cents to make.
Yep.
Including the cup and ice.
Yeah.
So it's 2 cents. So 2 cents. And I'm not positive I even think that that's necessarily true. I'll go with it. But 2 cents. I mean, come on. I get the cup. I understand the cup. But remember, you've also spent $7, $8 on this thing. So $7, $8, say with the cup, and say give it a high, 30 cents. 30 cents it costs them.
That's where they make all their money.
Right. Don't you think it's a little selfish to not let you refill it? Like,
it is.
But when it's of no cost to them?
It's also why Wallach brings a cooler to the movie theater. That's why
that is not true.
It's got a Yeti.
That is not true. Don't start spreading rumors. That
Yeti
is not
backpack.
true.
Do you do any snacks, or do you just do a soda?
Oh no, I get popcorn. We ate a whole large popcorn yesterday, and then
it's good fiber.
Well, Dr. Amen says it's not good for your brain, corn, but. Because, again, my eating is all messed up. So I ate breakfast and then I didn't eat again.
Right.
So I got there and I thought they'd have food, but they didn't really have food. So I just basically had popcorn. And then I got home after the movie and ate, which is, good.
Yeah.
To eat it like 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
Go to bed at 10.
It is kind of I mean, I know you go to other theaters. I've been going almost exclusively to like showcase theaters for years now. Either Legacy Place, the one in Randolph, which closed, which was a bummer because that was an easy one to go to. But the last time I went to the movies, Calvin and I went and saw, I can't remember what we saw, but it was at an AMC, the one that's kind of like off the highway, over by like Braintree. Like I didn't even know it was there. When you're going to the mall there in Braintree, you get off the highway, and if you take an immediate right, there's like a 110 grill back in there and a couple of hotels and like a Massport bus system that'll take you to the airport. I said, I thought we were going to the mall. Thank God I actually looked at the map. We're going to an AMC that's tucked back up here on a hill. It's got a real Tim and Eric $1 billion movie feel to it.
Oh, really?
There's like weeds growing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You walk in. Are you open? Oh, yeah. Come on in. You're here for the movie? Yeah, we're the ones that are here for the movie. We're the ones who bought tickets to attend a movie at this establishment. Okay, it's down here. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Conway. Right down there. Right down, yeah, right. Go in there.
Yeah, when I was in Alabama last year for Milo's tournament, it was like 150 degrees, and like he was with all his teammates, like screwing around. So I went to see the Smashing Machine by myself in the middle of the day,
Great.
at a theater, somewhere around Birmingham, Alabama, and it was the same thing. Like, I didn't think they were open. I thought that they just left the door unlocked. And, like, I went in, and I felt like the biggest loser. I was like none of that. They were all looking at me like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, now I got to...
What do you want, something to eat, too?
Right, like, because, like, no one's behind the counter. I know how it feels. I've had those jobs, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Now I got to go, like, this effing loser on a Thursday afternoon is, like, or, like, a Monday afternoon is coming in, like to go see some movie. Like, what pathetic... But then, like, a wave of about, like, 6 very elderly people came in, so it was a little exciting.
I know what we saw now. It's the Ryan Gosling space movie.
Oh,
the
I
one
saw that.
Yeah, the one. I forget what the hell's the name of it. Whatever it was. And Fred, you didn't say don't see it, but you kind of warned me because all the reviews were like best movie ever. Oh my God, I can't believe this movie. And you're like, it's fine. And that's exactly what it was. In fact, it was even a little less than that. Ryan Gosling, I like, so it makes it watchable, but it's beyond ridiculous. You're just, okay.
Well, the problem with movie reviews now is that there's no standard. It's like Bob's blog, or like, that's what I call movies. Like, it used to be like someone who got a job with like a real newspaper.
Remember
or something.
Movie Bob, the guy who came in here with the Hawaiian shirt and a Converse high top?
Well, I mean, Project Hail Mary. That's the name.
Project Hail Mary. Right. But the thing is that, like, if you just, I mean, they don't have a problem giving you tickets to screenings if you're willing to drive there and sit.
Yeah.
So, like, anyone can get those.
Right.
And then you, like, puke out something, and then it's aggregated on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, I look at that and I go, well, like, 2 of these people seem to have, have bona fides to have gotten themselves like a real job. Like, when you're curating,
everyone else is just so happy to get free movie tickets that they will write good reviews about just about anything they get a free ticket to.
And I'm not being snobbish. I really am saying that, there are critics I think were terrible, but like, there at least was like a system of filters and people that you had to impress until you got to the honor of being the guy that got the space in the expensive paper. To, that's space they don't just give to anyone. So if you were in a major New York Times, Boston Globe, I mean, I still appreciate what they do in these things, or the Chicago Tribune, like one of those, like, you had to have impressed a lot of people and kept the readership going. Like, you had to have, had a career. You could get fired if you don't.
Right.
People had to at least respect you or find you compelling enough in a negative way to keep reading. But like Diarrhea Face Jones, that that like slaps it on a keyboard,
has never had to write anything thoughtful or critical or anything to
or prove anything to anyone. Like, he's never had to, like, there's no standard like that he had to have met. Paul, go ahead.
Hey, Fred, you're right. It was kind of a letdown. I mean, Jackass Forever was really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark Shark didn't do anything. The girl was only in the intro. She only did that one stunt. The Twister thing, I had to look away, man. I almost threw up.
Oh yeah, when they prepare for a colonoscopy.
They did Twister, and like Steve-O filled his pants almost to his knees.
Yeah, that was I gave him a lot of credit for that. But yeah, I felt bad for the girl in it because they didn't give her. In fairness, again, they only did like 5 new things, if that. But yeah, they didn't let the girl do really anything. And I'm sure she did a bunch of stuff. It just didn't make it in.
Jackass Forever It's probably the hardest I've laughed in a movie theater, the maybe ever. The opening sequence, just with the ramp.
Yeah.
Where they're just jumping the various bikes and motorbikes off each other by putting the ramps over them. I don't know. It's so simple and so stupid. And I remember like not being able to breathe. I was laughing so hard in the first 10 minutes of Jackass Forever.
Well, one of the best Jackass things, and then we got a break, is that I think it's Bam Margera dropping in on a quarter pipe and just with a wall like 5 feet in front of it, and he just drops into a quarter pipe and just rams into the wall.
But here's the thing with Bam, and I know exactly the scene you're talking about. He would overreact to the impacts all the time.
Okay, so
he would do the and throw his.
So in this movie,
in the air.
it's literally a second. It's him dropping in and hitting the wall, and then it cuts to something else.
Okay, so I would probably enjoy that more because he would sell the impact of the stuff he was doing on Jackass too much. I believe that it hurts, and that was unpleasant. You don't have to, be so demonstrative after you face plant into a wall after you dropped in on a half pipe.
I would. Yeah, I mean that doesn't sound fun.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You would throw. He looked like he was trying to draw a foul
like
in the
more
NBA.
More than the other guys.
Yeah, he was like the Paul Pierce. He was throwing his head back like a sniper just got
and
him
he was a
behind the ear.
professional skater, so he probably fell a lot and like da 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 da. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We'll catch up with everything that happened last night.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
So much for this country.
Toucher and Hardy.
This country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules.
You idiot. The Sports Hub.
Did you catch the game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. What happened to you last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
All right, let's talk a little football here as the U.S. was taking on. What do you insist on calling it now, Walt?
Turkey.
Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's kind of spelled that way if you look at it.
Well, now, it reminds me of when the Olympics were in Rome and they insisted on calling it Roma.
Yes.
For a summer.
It is a lot of the same.
Stop
yes.
it.
Yep.
It's Turkey. It's Turkey.
You call it whatever you want to call it.
I will. And
Good.
I'm going to call it Turkey, and I'm going to call it stuffing when the U.S. stuffed a ball into the goal 3 minutes into the match, huh?
To the back post. Knocked down. It's in. It's another early goal. It's Austin Trusty's first career goal for the United States.
3 minutes into the match.
There's a reason it's his first career goal for the United States. 9 lineup changes for this game. All backups.
Okay. So,
or most backups.
Starting 11, completely new.
Yeah. All 4 defenders were different. 4 different forwards. And the backup goalkeeper, Matt Turner, former New England Revolution goalkeeper.
That's right. So this was an interesting decision on the part of the U.S. team. They know they're into the knockout stage.
This game literally meant nothing.
Meant nothing. So they're going to rest the starting 11, and they're going to change things up. Oh, why? Do they have to play on Saturday? No. When do they have to play? On a week.
Well, there was part of it.
Wednesday. They play Wednesday.
Well, no. But there was part of it that was if you had a yellow card and you got another yellow card, then you wouldn't be able to play in the knockout round.
They have 4 guys on yellow cards, and the head coach Pochettino sat all 4 guys. But the overall thing was he could only have sat 4 guys, but he sat 9 guys.
No, I know, but I know they played the guy with the calf injury. Does he count as one of the ones they sat out because he came into the game?
Yes, Pulisic, their best player, didn't play in the last game because of the calf injury. They wanted to get him out there. He played like the last 30 minutes of the second half.
Okay, because I understand the yellow card thing, and I don't know if you got nothing to play for and you already know who you're playing in the next round.
Yep.
You could make the argument that it's better to play the backups because at least you give them some action in case you need to play them later in the tournament.
That was brought up during the broadcast. Yeah.
I don't know enough about soccer to know if rust factors in, but if you're going to sit for that long, and that was part of the conversation afterward as the U.S. team, spoiler alert, did not beat Turkey last night.
No.
All right, are they going to be kicking themselves because even 7 of their presumed starting 11 sat out when they didn't have to, and they had all this time off in between matches. By the way, Turkey would answer that goal from the U.S. at the 3-minute mark just 7 minutes later.
With a nice little dummy that allowed Yilmaz to run onto it, trying to return. Able to capitalize on that loose ball in the middle. Beats Matt Turner. Turkey tied the game inside of 10 minutes.
A lot of action in this one.
Turkey, yeah. Thanksgiving is the best, Mrs. C. Turkey, hey.
Now,
I'll eat it in my office on the toilet.
Okay, is this regular Fonzie or is this old Fonzie?
It could be either.
Old Fonzie still enjoys the holiday.
Okay.
Just mash it up for me.
Okay.
Hey, Mrs. C is just a body. It's just a cardboard cutout I put on a chair. Hey, Mrs. C, Mr. C. Some people say it's disturbing, but it keeps me alive.
Oh, you ate a lot, Arthur. Would you like coffee? Decaf.
Or I'll be up all night with the runs.
Yes, Christian Pulisic did make his return in this match in the second half. It was tied at 2. We're into extra time. The match almost over. It's going to go away with a draw.
Chance for a cross. Comes back to the top of the box. Now it's clipped in at the backside. Matt Turner, it's stopped home. Turkey scored the winning goal in the 98th minute. They might be going home tomorrow, but they're going wild now.
Yeah.
That was it. Again, in the waning seconds of this match, how much time is left?
I know.
Only the ref knows.
That's the most annoying
It shows 90 plus 8. It's 98 minutes. Well, I wasn't watching at the end of last night, but I've watched plenty of soccer in my life to know that sometimes it's 98-32. Sometimes it's 99. I thought it was 90 plus 8. No, it's whenever the ref says it's over. And look, the soccer fans know this, and they understand it. They generally will not stop it in the middle of like a legitimate scoring.
It's
try.
the end of the possession, whatever it is. Then, for instance, if Turner makes the save, the game's over.
Yes, but all that is there's plenty of judgment left at the hands of the referee in terms of when the match actually ends. Now it's over.
Right.
Now it's over. So that was your final last night. 3-2 Turkey beats the U.S. team. But U.S. still on, and they will play next.
Bosnia-Herzegovina on Wednesday night at the home of the San Francisco 49ers, Levi Stadium.
Very physical team, apparently, Bosnia. As was Turkey is apparently a very physical team. So lessons were learned. Video has been, they will be breaking down video in the upcoming days before the big match. Are they favored in that?
Yes.
So they're favorites.
The way the bracket shakes out, it looks like they have winnable games in the first 2 rounds. Of course, everything changes every day. France is apparently on their side of the bracket as it stands right this second. So if everything holds true to what I saw last night, the U.S. should win their first 2 games and then play France in the quarterfinals. The way I saw it, it's Bosnia in the first round. If they win that, it would be Egypt, who is not ranked as high as they are in the FIFA World Cup rankings, and then they'd play France in the quarterfinals. That's the way it was last night, but we'll see.
What if they beat France? Huh?
Don't know.
That'd be something.
Well, yes, it would be.
Yeah, that's all my
It'd
own
be
comment.
awesome.
Okay.
That'd be something.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be neat. What if they won the World Cup? Then I really start pretending to care. Then I'm on the bandwagon once they win.
You're going to the parade in Washington, D.C. I guess that's where they'd hold it.
I've been in
right?
Washington, D.C. a lot for the 250th anniversary of this great country. I've been soaking it all in.
You were there a few Januaries ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I stormed the Capitol, of course.
Thank you.
I'm a patriot. That's why I thank God I was pardoned, or else I was up against some real charges.
Yeah.
Yankees Red Sox last night at Fenway Park tied at 2.
Let's break.
What?
We've been running very, very late as of late, so let's. I'm giving Ryan a break because I like that he doesn't talk in my ear like Adam did. So I want to reward that by breaking here, and then we will be back. We will have everything that happened with the Red Sox game and everything else in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
NHL draft is tonight in Buffalo. The Bruins have the 23rd overall selection. Also, Providence Bruins head coach Ryan Mougenel yesterday left the organization. He's been hired by Vancouver as an assistant there. ESPN reported again yesterday the Celtics are expected to trade Jaylen Brown at some point. The U.S. men's soccer team was beaten by Turkey last night 3-2 in Los Angeles in a meaningless group play match. The U.S. will now play Bosnia-Herzegovina Wednesday night in a knockout round match in Santa Clara, California. Later today in Foxborough, France will play Norway in a Group Cup match. And the Red Sox capitalized on 4 Yankees errors. They scored a 6-3 win at Fenway Park last night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Watch the world's biggest matchups with 98.5 The Sports Hub. Details at 98.5thesportshub.com. Presented by Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
This is the song from Boogie Nights when Dirk gets into the business and then they go shopping for their matching polyester shirts, and then they all end up at the disco together.
That's right.
And they start doing the line dance together.
Yeah, this song will always be Boogie Nights. You know, Burt Reynolds never watched it.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He hated it. He hated the idea that he was in it.
I remember him talking in an interview about Paul Thomas Anderson, where he was probably all coked up, as Fiona Apple said about him and Quentin Tarantino used to getting together and watching their movies together in a screening room. She said, if you ever want to quit coke, go into a movie theater screening room with Paul Thomas Anderson, Quentin Tarantino, and you will never touch this stuff again. But Paul Thomas Anderson was so annoying to Burt Reynolds because he was saying, like, we're going to try this shot here. We're going to do a long dolly track, and we're going to just do this as a one shot, coming into the pool and all this stuff. And Burt Reynolds the whole time, it's like, yep, we did this 40 years ago on Deliverance. You're not reinventing cinema. I understand you're all excited, and that's great, but shut up. Well, how about we just do the scene? I'll say my lines, and then I can go home.
Look at the time.
Yeah. Oh, really? Are you gonna try this with a filter on the lens? Yeah, we did that on Cannonball Run. Okay, this is not new.
It's funny. I just saw something with Quentin Tarantino ripping on Boogie Nights because he said that it was the same that what Paul Thomas Anderson did with the action porn scenes, like when he. The stuff that they showed that were supposed to be in the porn. Mm-hmm. He said that was based on a porn director who was actually very talented, and that he cheapens the work of the porn director. He's like, that's based on Bruno Sfavali's, work. And Bruno Sfavali was, he actually had a great sense of composition. And you're like, all right, dude, like I get it. Like you watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Like, you have an eye for it. I like Quentin Tarantino too, and I like Paul Thomas Anderson.
I like a lot of their movies. There's a couple of Paul Thomas Andersons I cannot watch, and a couple of Quentin Tarantinos I can't watch. But for the most part, I like them too. All right, Red Sox. Yankees last night tied at 2 until Caleb Durbin.
Swinging a shot, high deep drive down the left field line. Can he straighten it out? And it is going to be out of here. Home run, Caleb Durbin. Red Sox do indeed take the lead. He's some kind of hot right now. Bad pinky and all. He has his second hit. And the Sox are in front 4-2.
Unearned runs, all of them. They scored 4 runs in that inning. All of them were unearned. Yankees made 4 errors last night.
Well, it's about time some other team did that.
Yeah, it was like the roles were reversed, Fred. I don't know if you saw this game. The Yankees made 2 errors in the first inning. Schlittler threw a pickoff throwaway into center field, and the catcher put his glove too far forward, and Willie Abreu grounded out to third, but the catcher's interference gave him first base. And the Sox couldn't capitalize on that because they're terrible. But in the end, a guy hit a ground ball that should have been a double play ball, and Ahmed Rosario went down on one knee to make the play, and the ball still went through his legs for a base hit. And that set up Caleb Durbin's 2-run home run. 4 unearned runs off Schlittler, and he was done after 5.
Well, the Red Sox will take him any way they can get them at this point.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Later in the game, I don't know who was on the mound. There was a check swing call from the umpire, and pitching coach Andrew Bailey
flipped out,
lost his mind. The Red Sox are leading by 2, I think, at this point.
I think it was 4-2 at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Check swing. The appeal, he didn't swing. That's why it pays to have a great guy in the video room like Mike Brunley.
That was awful, by the way. You rarely see Chad Tracy get that fired up. Look how far out front that bat was.
Definitely.
He just flat out missed it.
Okay, so
Tyler Jones over there. And the payoff pitch. He's going to walk him. So Volpe is on.
Tracy's got to be careful. He might.
That was
Bailey on that one.
Yep.
They were both out earlier. He did get run.
He has been tossed.
Well, I guarantee Bale said, that's on you.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
That was in the 9th inning. The Red Sox are winning 6-3. but Volpe, I believe, was the leadoff hitter. It was a check swing. The first base umpire said no swing. Volpe walks, goes to first base, and Bailey lost his mind. It's the first base umpire. It's right in front of the Red Sox dugout.
Yes.
So Bailey, the pitching coach, stands up on the top step. He might be, 20 feet, 30 feet from the first base umpire, and starts screaming at him, and to the point where the umpire, who knows he blew the call, had to throw him out of the game.
The first base ump, who is getting the brunt of this, obviously, because he made the check swing call. Lip readers have determined that Bailey called him an effing piece of blank.
Yes.
He said, "You're," and I think that's what got him run. So, after the game, I've not yet heard this question yet from Jemai Webster, but I'm told we should listen to this.
Caleb, I don't think any of us had plans on seeing the sun come up this morning, but such is life. But also you doubly having your finger go the other direction in Colorado. How on earth did you manage to make yourself available tonight?
What?
I know what the first part of that question meant. They had flight trouble coming back from Denver. And so they didn't land until about 6 this morning.
So literally see the sun come up,
Yes.
as opposed to, I took it to mean none of us thought we would live.
No. No. The Red Sox got back to Boston at about 6 a.m. from Denver yesterday. Yesterday morning.
All right. So there you go. Red Sox take the first game of the 4-game series last night over the Yankees 6-3.
4 Yankees errors. All 6 Red Sox runs were unearned last night. And then Aroldis Chapman, who melted down in Denver and blew a save, loaded the bases before he got the last out yesterday. He's going through a bit of a spell after being dominant for a year and a half.
Do you think some of that might have to do with the fact he's not pitching very much?
Sure. That's as good a reason as any. Sure.
I mean, it's kind of a difficult situation to be in when you just aren't getting reps and you're not getting a lot of game action. That
makes sense.
Probably not great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Major League Baseball has given their latest proposal over to the Players Union, and what they would like is a maximum 5-year deal given to free agents who are changing teams. If you're staying with your team under the MLB proposal, you can sign for 6 years, but at a maximum of 15% of the perceived payroll
cap.
The cap, which that's kind of slid in there. Oh yeah, we still got the cap, and also you can only sign for 5 or 6 if you're going to stay with your team. And not surprisingly, the Players Union said this is absolutely not.
And they didn't really raise the floor that much either. In this, they went from after 2 years of service, the minimum's $1 million. So
you can get to free agency quicker now. Apparently, it's 6 years of service time. They're throwing out arbitration years. You don't worry about that. It's 6 years or 30 years old, whatever comes first. The bottom line is they're trying to throw peanuts at the players while making these massive changes to the salary structure. And the players aren't having any part of it, but the owners are going to die on this hill. This is the time where the owners are prepared to sit and wait. And I don't think there's going to be any last-minute proposal that brings these two together. We still have 5 or 6 months. It's December 1st when the lockout will start, if and when there is one. But the owners are going to die on this hill this time. Fred, I don't know if you feel any different, but I think that this time is different. The last time we thought there wasn't going to be any baseball and they saved it, I don't think that's going to happen this time around. The owners want a cap, and they're prepared to wait until the players break.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah, they do need a cap. I wonder how long the rank and file players are going to be willing to sit out and not get paid. If the average major league career, say, is 3 years, and are you willing to miss a year of the most money you'll ever make in your entire life?
That's just it.
Most likely.
Let's see what happens when the non-Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani players miss about 6 months of paychecks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how much money you've saved. It's you can't afford to lose money like this.
I mean, the 15% cap on the salaries, based on the salary cap, you just mentioned Juan Soto. So Juan Soto signed his deal that's making him, what, $750 million?
I think it's $765.
Okay,
Yeah.
so under this proposal from the MLB, the most you'd be able to sign a player for is doing the math like $200 million.
Yep, for 5 years.
For
Yep.
5 years, that'd be. So I don't know how many players out there are walking around reasonably thinking they're going to be able to get Juan Soto money at some point in their career. But that's a tough pill to swallow. Wait a second. Right now we're playing in this game where you can make $750 million, and you want to take that, you want to cut that by like 75%. The maximum amount of money we'll be able to sign for. It's a proposal from the MLB. That's what they would like. There's no way it ends up settling on that.
But they're not going to bend all that much this time. You could just see it. I mean, none of the owners want to go where, Steve Cohen went with the Mets and where the Dodgers went and where the Yankees were going before they started cutting salary. I mean, all of the owners are unified on this. Even the Dodgers owner, when interviewed 2 or 3 months ago, said, we can't keep spending like this. And this is a guy who's been spending out of his ass for 5 years.
I'm losing my mind the amount of money that I'm spending. Well, no one's making you.
Yeah, it's...
You don't have to sign everybody.
So, yeah, it's going to happen. And those of us who love baseball are going to have to be without it for a while.
Oh, John.
We'll see. We'll see how long that it actually lasts. A lot of tough talk going into things. We'll see how firm everyone wants to stand, and we'll see what Major League Baseball is willing to do to sweeten it for the rank and files, so that the cap is actually a benefit to some players. I mean, that's what they're really going to have to do. This is the very early stages of the negotiations. Everyone's talking very tough.
You're right, Fred. They're raising the minimum salary from $780,000 to $1 million. It's not quite enough to compel all the lower paid players to say, come on, guys, let's get this done.
It sounds like a very preliminary offer that needs to be massaged quite a bit. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Bert Breer will be joining us.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Big tournament.
bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
We turn now to a big story in the NFL tonight. A 23-year-old defensive player for the Detroit Lions, a former first-round pick and All-American at the University of Alabama, has been arrested on charges of armed robbery and kidnapping. He's denying it all.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Bert Breers, the senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the MMQB. He is in studio with us for an hour. That was Terry and Arnold. The world doesn't want the Lions to have defensive backs. They don't like the Lions having defensive backs. They either hurt them, and it's not like Terry and Arnold's been a world beater. I mean, he hasn't lived up to his draft position, certainly. But so the story around this is kind of interesting. So
wild, even by NFL standards, I'd say.
Yeah. And so Terry and Arnold has been charged, as you just heard, felony charges of armed robbery and kidnapping. So what happened is him and these guys he knew, they go to this Airbnb all the time, apparently, and they. So this article isn't as good as the one I used to read. So they got robbed, right? Well, yeah. Let me kind of give the real the actual stuff. So not an approximation because it's that interesting. So 3 men in their late teens were held at gunpoint, battered, and pistol whipped and robbed in a Tampa apartment on February 4th. Police said 3 days after personal property worth more than $250,000 was reported stolen from Arnold and others at an Airbnb rental in Largo. This is 20 miles outside of Tampa. They say Arnold was the primary conspirator. So Arnold and these guys would get this Airbnb outside of Tampa, and they were under the impression that for whatever reason, $250,000 worth of stuff of theirs was in there and was robbed. Mm-hmm. They go to the police and they report the robbery. And then 3 days later, they go to the guy's house now Arnold wasn't there, but they have text messages, they say, showing that he led this whole thing. And they kidnap the guys and assault them in an effort to punish them, apparently, for taking their stuff or to get it back.
But they live streamed it so he knew when the three guys had been captured.
So the whole story was so Arnold and this other guy used these girls to lure the people they thought robbed them into this place. And then the girls get these two guys into this place. And then two other guys that aren't Arnold and his buddy burst out of a closet and jump the guys. And they are live streaming all of this for Arnold, who is watching it somewhere else, but he's on his way.
Yeah.
I think? Is that right?
Yeah,
Fred?
He's on his way. He wasn't far away when it happened. Yes.
I mean, it is the most convoluted, I don't even get the part. So you have somebody else carry this out for you.
Yeah.
Yet you're on your way there.
It's something out of a TV series at 10 p.m., like a Law and Order episode or something.
And you have all the text messages and all the documentation that you were involved in this in the first place. But
wouldn't the idea of having somebody else do it be that you don't want to get busted?
That's true.
Yeah, you're still on your way.
Plausible deniability. You don't show up.
How about you don't go to the police and report that the items were stolen?
Well, this is now you might accuse me of being a Lions fan, but I think Terry and Arnold's getting a raw deal here.
Probable cause, Fred.
I think if you had your things stolen, much like OJ did with his memorabilia,
that's right. You hold the people for ransom.
You were within it. Maybe he took it a bit too far with the pistol whipping and the kidnapping. But you have...
Didn't
OJ used a hotel room, though. That wasn't smart.
OJ sold the memorabilia and then tried to steal it back, right? Wasn't that what
I don't remember, but I think that was a nice circular moment there.
If someone takes your things, you're allowed to try and get those things back. I don't see why he has to go to jail for it. Is it the pistol whipping? Is that what they objected
I think
to?
they kind of frown on that.
Okay. I think the methods of recovering the things might be the part of the problem.
Okay. Well, apparently his and credit to Terry and Arnold again. he has a personal driver. We see so many celebrities getting in trouble for, driving while under the influence. Arnold has a driver. Unfortunately, he used his driver as one of his co-conspirators. Yeah. Again, the court's words, not mine. Mm-hmm. In
alleged
orchestrating.
Yeah.
Again, their words, not mine. This whole thing. I think it's a misunderstanding. I think it'll be fine.
I guess under Florida law could carry. Now it won't be a life sentence, but I guess that it can carry a life sentence. Is that right?
They're not letting him out.
No, being held without bond. I read.
It doesn't look like he's going to maneuver his way out on bond. So that's not great for if you're Terry and Arnold. They're taking this extremely seriously. Every article in the Free Press
reporting to training camp.
He'll be back for camp. Don't worry.
By the way, every article in the Detroit Free Press is just about what the Lions are going to do now at the corner position. There's very little about.
It took about a half hour to pivot to their depth chart at corner.
Yeah, because you know how articles like on ESPN are. They're just like these.
There's
boilerplate.
Oh my God,
with nothing in it.
The ESPN articles and everything. It's like now he's arrested with co-conspirators for this, that. Like, what did he do? You got to go to the New York Post, or you have to go to like some other site to find out like what is being alleged here.
Yeah, and the Free Press stuff from Dave Burkett or. The guy, he's a really good writer, but it's all behind a paywall, and I refuse to pay for the Free Press anymore. I was paying for it, and I'm just like, this is nonsense.
Too, and I'm done.
It's like USA Today owned. It's not very good anymore. Yeah, so that's going on. All right. So there's not going to be a supplemental draft. So this Sorby kid is. Is there any way that they? So just explain kind of for people who might not know the background on the Sorby situation before it got to the supplemental draft part.
So, like, this goes back to when he was at Indiana. He placed a enormous number of very small bets, around $100,000 worth. But it was literally like by the end he was betting on like Jai in India. You know what I mean? And so, but at the beginning of it, there were bets that he placed on the Indiana football team while he was on the Indiana roster, which for obvious reasons is a huge no-no in every sport. And at the time he was being redshirted. He wasn't even on the travel roster. I mean, one of the stories was that a game he was betting on, Indiana, the football team was on the road somewhere else, and he was sitting in his dorm room because he wasn't even at the point where he would be on the sideline for a game like that. But there's the obvious entanglement. So the NCAA ruled him ineligible. I think we talked about over the last couple of weeks, the injunction. He was able to get the injunction from the court in Texas. Then the Big 12 came in and filed their own lawsuit. He saw the time running out on the supplemental draft. So then he withdrew the lawsuit, which, obviously got rid of the injunction. Now he's ineligible again, which makes him eligible for the supplemental draft on paper. And on Tuesday, the NFL said they are not going to let him in. And so now, he's got to make a decision on what he's going to do, whether or not he wants to sue the league. I do think he has a case here. And yeah, I mean, there were a bunch of things in the NFL's like letter to Sorsby that made no sense at all. Like one of the things was, well, you filed your application 3 business days before the deadline, which would have been last Tuesday because Juneteenth was not a business day. So you filed the application 3 days before the deadline, which doesn't give us enough time to vet it. Somebody brought this comparison up to me. Like, if your kid filed sent a college application in on the day of the deadline, and then the school came back to you and said, well, you didn't file it soon enough, how pissed would you be,
Very.
So the NFL was coming up with a lot of different reasons not to let him in. I think the bottom line is, I thought all along they were going to let him in because of the legality of it. The NFL is essentially a trade association. Sorsby is not a member of its union. And so I think legally, because the NFL is a monopoly, the NFL cannot determine his employability. They have to leave that up to the companies. The companies in this case is the teams. So I do think Sorsby has a case here in that the supplemental draft is for people exactly like him. They're people whose eligibility status has changed between the draft and the start of the season, and they have nowhere else to go. And we've seen them let in guys who are ineligible because of drugs. Josh Gordon. We've seen them let guys in who are ineligible because of NCAA rules. Terrell Pryor. Dozens of guys have gotten in because of academic ineligibility. Ahmad Brooks, who played for the Niners years ago, was a case of that. So I can't remember them ever denying someone's entry into the supplemental draft. And the reason why is the legality of it. Like the whole thing I just said about trade associations. But they've decided they want to draw a line here now, and they've sort of moved the ball over to Brendan Sorsby's court, which is now they've decided they're okay with going through the legal battle. Brendan Sorsby needs to decide if he is or not.
Who did you think was in on Sorsby? Going into this supplemental draft?
I think the four easy teams to look at are the four teams that I've been mentioning, I think, since the draft, the teams that didn't draft quarterbacks high. Now, the Cardinals took Carson Beck, but I would, have them as one of the teams that's in play for 27. The Jets drafted Cade Klubnik, but I think they're one of the teams.
Well, they said no. They said that they were not interested.
The Jets would be, but I think the Jets were one of the teams that were vetting him, I'm saying.
Oh, okay, okay.
So the Jets, the Cardinals, the Browns, the Dolphins. I had heard the Colts had kind of kicked tires on it. The Steelers had investigated it because obviously they're looking at it now. Now, their quarterback room is awfully full, but that doesn't mean they were going to take him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think all 32 teams to some degree were looking at it. I think he probably would have gone in the second or third round.
Okay, because I heard a guy say that every team would offer up a 7th round pick.
Yeah, and that's the thing is why not?
Right, yeah, that it was something that all 32 teams would just go at the least a 7th round pick for the kid. That's just due diligence and that's what you would do.
I mean, a 7th round pick probably a 7th round pick. Even as a rookie, is iffy to make your roster.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's why not? If this is it's more or less a lottery ticket. It's if the kid really becomes something, even if you have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Drake May, right? Even if you have one of these guys, you look at it and say, man, if he really is a top 10 pick type of talent, we'll bring him in. He'll give us depth for a couple of years. And if he really shows something in the preseason, we can flip him for something worth way more in a couple of years.
It's just if I was Cleveland or the Jets, I don't know if I would even want to. I would certainly go here's a 7th round pick, but I don't know if I would bid anything of real value. Not only because I want to keep the pick, but because they both have multiple picks in the first round of next year's draft, and why bring in a guy who you're not even sure is going to be that good, who also has these red flags and is going to cause all this controversy, and you're bringing him in kind of late.
The logic would be if you spend a 2 or a 3 on him. I think the best comparison would probably be Jimmy Clausen. And you guys remember him at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He's a really good college quarterback. The Panthers rolled the dice on him in 2010 in middle of the second round. And didn't work out, didn't stop them from taking Cam Newton the next year. So I think the logic would be you would look at it like that.
But he didn't carry this kind of.
No, I know. Yeah. But here, what I'm saying is if you spend a 2 or a 3 on a quarterback, that doesn't prevent you from taking one next year.
But it creates a circus in the.
It could, yeah. but then if you hit on the guy, right? If you hit on the guy, then next year. You wind up, and next year you still have a high first rounder. You can either trade that pick then to a team that needs a quarterback, or you could take somebody like Jeremiah Smith at the top of the first round. So that would be the logic. The logic is, Fred, is just keep throwing darts. If you don't have one, just keep throwing darts.
Oh, and I agree with that theory, and I think even the Patriots should just keep taking quarterbacks. I mean, they don't need a starter, but you need a good backup in the NFL. I understand all of that, and. As May gets older, then you still want to keep taking shots at it because, if May retired or something, it happens. Andrew Luck retired, and before he was supposed to. But if you're a team like Cleveland or New York, there's a bit of a culture issue that you might want to.
And that's part of it too.
Away.
Is like, can you absorb a guy like that?
Right.
Like, is your program
like the Steelers probably could,
right?
But and maybe even Indianapolis could right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think Cleveland and the Jets could.
I mean,
take that. They need that kind of nonsense, especially after Tim Tebow and Aaron Rodgers and all this stuff like that. It's never worked out. So maybe don't do that.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see too, because if I were him and I were his agent, his lawyer, and he's got a really high-powered lawyer, I would really look at the idea of negotiating a suspension and say, okay, can we negotiate, even if it's like a full season suspension, can we negotiate something that'll allow me to come in and practice and meet? Because I just think if he's sitting out there for the entire year, he loses an entire year of playing, which I think a quarterback's a big deal. To me, I always look at the example of Drew Henson years ago, where I think he was a great quarterback at Michigan, and he had a couple years where he was out, and he just wasn't the same when he came back. So I don't think if you're playing that position, you want to lose time on task. You're probably not going to play anyway. If you're it's so late in the game, you probably weren't going to play in the games anyway, and you have a chance to go in and prove yourself. If you sit out the year, what's going to happen is you're going to get to next April, and I just think you're not going to have a chance to put anything else on tape, and then you're going to get to next April, and if you go into the draft, you have 5 other quarterbacks who had great years, you're going to be behind them, and then if it's close with you and another guy who played the college season, I think most teams are going to be give me the other guy.
Yeah.
So I think you're better off if you're him just finding a way to get in the league now, even if it means you can't play this year in games.
Yeah, it's just also odd to me that he's been all over the place, and I don't know. I mean, he isn't some superstar. I don't know.
I know, but I mean, there's a lot of talent there. That's the thing that I think people are looking at. The comp that I've gotten from multiple teams that I think is an interesting one, just the little that I have seen of him as a player, is Jay Cutler. And Jay Cutler was the 11th pick in the draft. You know, so Jay Cutler was laugh, but
I'm not laughing. It's just
Jay Cutler
physically
an NFL quarterback.
really good, but as time moved along, Cutler went south.
Yeah, so. I saw that kid, Klubnik kid, going into last year in a mock draft going number 1.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of kids
that have.
I mean, Arch Manning was supposed to come out this last draft and be the best player of all time.
And everybody is still projecting him the same way. And we don't know. Right. We don't know what that's going to look like this year. Everybody I've talked to about Arch Manning is well, he doesn't see it fast enough. He doesn't process it fast enough. He's kind of just a big, raw athlete playing the position. And it's funny with him because everybody looks at him and sees wow, this is like Peyton or Eli with wheels. It's they assume he has everything that Peyton and Eli did, and he doesn't yet. He's plays. I think the best way to put it is he plays more like his grandfather did than his uncles.
Whoa.
Hell yeah! Well, that's what I love.
Yeah, if
Archie, baby.
Archie going to take a lot of punishment. That means.
All right, listen,
we old highlights of Archie running around.
Oh yeah, he's like Fran Tarkington.
Yeah.
Kaboom!
Woo.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and
Kaboom! Did we all just take acid? Take acid? It's unbelievable.
Toucher and Hardy. We'll keep talking about
Like you, Fred, I'm not worried.
the Sports Hub.
Talking about the draft, when you look at rookie defensive player of the year and rookie offensive player of the year, what are you thinking? Just real quick, out of curiosity.
The rookie. If I was going to pick an offensive rookie of the year right now, it'd probably be Jadarian Price with the Seahawks because of, I think, the amount. Well, first, there's how running backs translate to the NFL, which I think is that's been the way it's been forever and ever and ever, that they can normally come in, plug and play. I do think like his college teammate Jeremiah Love in Arizona is going to be managed to some degree. And there's obviously an open spot there for him with the Seahawks, given that Kenneth Walker's now gone and Zach Charbonnet is coming back off the torn ACL.
He's going to get hurt again anyway, so it doesn't matter.
He might. So I think Price is going to a good team with an established running game. They're bringing in an offensive coordinator from the Niners who is like steeped in the Shanahan run game. And so I think like you're going to see a really productive year from Jadarian Price, who is the second running back from Notre Dame drafted. And then on defense, I think Caleb Downs in Dallas he translated so fast to the college game. Like he was at Alabama before he was at Ohio State. He started from day one for Nick Saban, which it's not the same going high school to college to the NFL, but if you're able to translate that quickly from one level to the next, I think that will translate again. And safety is a tough position to win it at. I remember, like, I looked at this. I think it's been seriously, I think Mark Carrier from the Bears was the last safety to win that award, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Mm-hmm. And that was like in 1990 or something like that. But I think Downs has a really good chance to win it. The other name I kind of keep an eye on there is Reuben Bain in Tampa, just because I think he is going to, again, it's like with Price, it's like a guy who's going to an established team and I think is going to have a chance to produce right away.
Fred, I wanted to ask about Brandon Ayuk, because he's completely flown off the deep end. Ayuk is a good receiver. He's been very productive over his career, but he's spun into a ditch the last 18 months. He's trying like hell to get off that team. They haven't gotten rid of him yet, but he's posting videos of doing 110 miles an hour while flying by the stadium and not attending meetings.
In a Cadillac.
In a Cadillac. Yeah, what is going on with this guy?
But I give him props for that, and it wasn't some, douchey supercar. It's like, no, man, it's a Cadillac.
I was saying,
right.
I was saying to Wallach during the break, like that, one of those videos where he was going like 110 was on, I can't remember the name of the street, but it's a street right by the Niners team. Tasman, I think is the name of it.
You're looking at me like I would know.
Tasman,
I have no idea.
All right, but it's like, it looks like it could be a highway because it's like one of those roads that has like 3 lanes, then 3 lanes, right? And he was going like 110. I'm telling you, like when I saw that, I'm like, so that street is like, that'd be like going 110 miles an hour down Boylston Street in Boston.
No,
it is that type of street. It is that type, but it's my point when I say that is it's the type of street where it'd be very difficult to pick up that level of speed. It's not like you're on the interstate where it's like
it's a good car. I know.
You have a little bit of a lead foot and you get to 90 and it's like, whoa, what am I doing? Like that's not the type of street he was on. So I mean, obviously the Patriots dodged a bullet.
Yes, Patriots wanted him bad a couple of years ago.
The Steelers dodged a bullet.
Yes. Can he play for the Niners again? And would any other team? Well, hold on. This is the run-up to the other question, which is if and when the Niners get rid of him, would any NFL team touch him at this point?
Yeah, I think the Commanders will probably wind up with. That's clearly where he
is.
He's
jumping up and down and screaming he wants to play for them.
He's posting about it.
Yeah,
I mean, clearly that's
the team.
Yeah, clearly that's where he wants to go. You have to have a handle on who he is, and that part is hard because, I mean, the Niners, there was a lot of drama with him in the Niners before they gave him the contract. They gave him the contract based on, I think, who he'd been earlier in his career. And, like, I know people around him were very sensitive to there being a mental health issue here. Obviously, now we're seeing that.
Yeah.
It's the most interesting part of it to me is if he wants his freedom, all he had to do in the spring was show up, because he'd force the Niners to cut him. Then all you got to do is report, and if you report to the team's OTAs now. Kyle Shanahan canceled their mini camp, so there was nothing mandatory in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
But all you had to do was show up, and you show up, and it's like, we don't want him around. And so then they're forced to make a decision. But he didn't do that.
Why?
Know? And that, I don't know. I mean,
bad advice? Or he got the advice and ignored it?
Clearly he was in the area.
Yeah.
No
kidding.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't just report for one day of work and force the team's hand and then get on with your career. But it's very difficult to try to understand what he's thinking right now.
What's the process internally with teams and representation and things like with a Terry and Arnold or a Brandon Ayuk? I know they're different, but like, what's the level of panic? Are there specialized people that get involved in these things? Like, how do teams handle it when there's a crises of these natures?
So, the first thing is the security people.
That's not a bad question.
Yeah, the security people.
We're following the conversation.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
So the security people are really involved. And so that actually works at the league level too, where the league has 2 security people on retainer in every NFL city. So that's it. The league office has that. Then you have your own security people. Generally, the security people are retired state police, retired FBI, like really serious law enforcement people. And the reason you have them is so you can leverage more information, so you're able to kind of figure out what's going on. In some cases in the past, we've seen these guys sort of become fixers, for the teams. So
I've never been all that impressed with that aspect of NFL teams, because we heard about that for years and how they've got their own in-house security and these guys are more buttoned up than anything. And then I just say, Aaron Hernandez, because the Patriots were one of these teams that were supposed to have this
why it was
amazing infrastructure of security and keeping an eye on things. It's like,
but they
really,
if you really dive into everything that happened there, those people
let's do that.
Those people were doing everything they could. That was an example of how crazy that situation had gotten, because those people had already done so much with the flop house and everything else to try to make it manageable, and they couldn't. Right? To me, that would be an example of how far that situation had gone. In a situation like this, Fred, to answer your question, I think the team psychologists, the mental health professionals are part of all of that. Obviously the security people. And then, you would think okay, well, now this team is going to be at odds with the players' camp. But the thing is, Terry and Arnold was a first-round pick. Brandon Ayuk was a first-round pick. They're represented by these massive agencies, and there are a half dozen of them that control 90% of the players in the NFL. Yeah. And so it's not like that agent coming in has just that one player. His agency might have 10% of the roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like that's going to be an adversarial relationship from the rip. It's just, okay, how do we, in a lot of cases, the agent, people around him are trying to work with the team to see if they can do what they can do to get these things under control. And I think a lot of times with all the guardrails that are in place, it's crazy a situation like Ayuk can be even allowed to happen.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. When we get back, I want to talk to you about what it was like to be in studio when Scott electrocuted himself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
The electrocute?
Okay, well, we'll save the clip for when we get back. You were in studio. You didn't do it, but you were just in studio when...
I was a witness?
You were a witness when Scott electrocuted himself, so maybe we could get into that a little bit.
All right.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headline. and Heidi on the Sports Hub.
Way if they get a win tonight and go up 3-1 over your Boston Bruins at the Garden. We're going to be talking to Billy Jaffe about that coming up next.
Oh, no, he wasn't here for that one. He was here
for another one.
My bad. It was for another one that you were here for.
Let's see.
Can you tell Brady hit the bricks, please?
No.
No, not that one.
Wait, Hardy, were you there for the electrocution?
Yes.
This is before you? Okay.
Yeah.
That coming up next.
I think that there are a lot to choose from here. Forgive me for having to go through these. I think this is the one that Bert was present for.
And so you get everybody locked in there for that first week. So that's normal. I didn't think they were going to beat Arizona. I don't think you guys thought.
So just whacked his knee on the table.
That was a Zoe injury.
Do you recall that?
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay, so you do remember that. All right,
most of Zoe's mishaps that I've been there for involve farting and him clearing out the studio.
Sure, right. Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're used to that here.
Them putting her on the record with the text messages, maybe the way that people who cover sports do their jobs is a lot different, but I would never do what they did there. I always say to the people I cover, if you're on the record with me, you'll know it. And I just think that's part of being
You mean the text that she sent to the higher ups
when she thinks they're negotiating, whether or not she's going to talk, and it's but that was on the record. It's I don't know. I thought that was kind of cheap.
That should never be ambiguous.
That should be no, it shouldn't. And I've said this to people. I almost get offended when I have these conversations with people. I want you, as somebody that I cover, to be able to talk to me like I'm a normal human being. And if you constantly think you're on the record with me, you will not be able to do that, which is going to hamper my ability to do my job at a high level. So it
happens a lot.
And I think a part of it is just be a decent human being and don't play these games of gotcha. And if there's a recorder on the table, if I'm talking to you and there is a recorder on the table and it is running, you're going to know you're on the record. Mm-hmm. If we're standing on the side of a practice field and I have my hands in my pockets and then I want you to be able to talk freely to me. So I'm not all of a sudden going to quote something you said to me from there, because then my trust the level of trust I have with you is going to be gone. And so I can't imagine in other. I mean, look, I've been covering the NFL for over 20 years now. I can't imagine anybody in any arena of journalism would be able to do their job at a high level when they're covering people with any level of power, if they can't establish that trust with them, that they can talk to you like you're a normal human being. And I thought that was weird. And it just kind of felt to me a little bit like, man, you got nothing. Mm. You know what I mean? You had to put that interaction in because you got nothing.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I looked at it. But maybe and again, I'm not trying to take a shot at any reporter involved. These are hard stories to report and all of that. But, I remember somebody telling me this when I was young, that the best reporters report 10% of what they know, or 5%, whatever that number is. And you guys know how I operate. I don't report everything I know, there's a lot. And I think if you're good at the job, that's the way it should be.
Yeah. And I think Stephen,
it allows you to be in a position where you can anticipate things happening, where things are going to happen, where you can talk about things with authority. That's just the way I do the job.
Stephen A. took some flack for that recently when he was talking about the Jaylen Brown situation. He said, do you want to talk about this? Do you want to talk about what, your Celtics teammates think of you? Do you want to talk about, and the weird one was, do you want to talk about what the city of Boston thinks of you? Which I don't know how Stephen A. would know that, but he took some flack for that. It's well, Stephen A., how come you're not saying this? Because even though Stephen A., isn't a reporter in the sense that a lot of other people are, it kind of falls under that same umbrella of you don't say every single thing that you come across and that you hear, because some of it's on the record, some of it's not, some of it hasn't been vetted. You haven't verified some of these things, and that's part of the job. And you have to kind of do your own gatekeeping in terms of what it is that you're going to put out there.
Yeah, and I like, again, like, it's just everybody does their job a little bit differently, but there is a process to vetting things. You hear things that you haven't verified yet that sometimes can, at the very least, color the way that you talk about something. And I mean, my job is to know what's going on, and my job is to have an idea of the inner workings of the league on a level that the general public cannot. And like, it helps me in being informed in the way that I talk about things when I have an opinion on something. You guys have been in a situation with me before that seems a little different or outside the box. A lot of times, it gets shown to be true. I think a good example of it would probably be the way I talked about the Rams situation for the month of May. Like, I had an idea something was going to happen. And so it allows you to talk with authority on certain things. And I just don't think, I don't think you get to that point by playing these games of gotcha where somebody texts you something and all of a sudden it winds up in print somewhere. And it just, to me, in a situation like this, it was sort of a signal that there wasn't a lot new in that story. And I also thought it was interesting how I thought it was interesting how it felt to me almost like the New York Times editors were bigger characters in the story than Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Which sort of tells you, I think, something about some of the intention in that story.
Just in the dissemination of it, you can tell a lot by what's in the story by the way it got put out there afterward, when people were quote tweeting it and saying, oh, this is what's in the Rossini story. It was literally the first bit of information in there that they threw in, like the lead anecdote, which it's so innocuous.
The lead anecdote wasn't even their own reporting though, which was weird too.
Right, but that's
a lot of it wasn't even their own.
That's the one that people ran with when they were trying to further promote the story, because as you dig in and read further, there's just nothing there. There's a few things, but not enough to dig into and say, oh, did you read this part of it? Yeah, I read the whole thing, and they threw the one thing that could be considered somewhat interesting at the top, and that's all it was.
Yeah, well, they certainly. She goes to a lot of conferences and talks and tells benign stories. So there you go. I got that out of the story. All right. Well, Bert, enjoy your weekend. We look forward to seeing you next week. Continue the great work at the MMQB as we wait for camps to open.
You guys working the 3rd of
July? We're not. I'm not working the 3rd.
I don't think I'm working the 3rd of July. No.
Okay, I think I'll be out too. So.
Okay, very good.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
There you go, Ryan. There's your notice.
All right. Yeah, I don't believe I'm working the 3rd of July.
No,
I'm not going to be here either. So
I got nothing to do. But and then the next week I got to go to Detroit and Hoover, Alabama. So jealous.
Back to Hoover.
Lucky.
Back to Hoover.
I mean, this is another chance for you to go see a movie at that theater.
A movie at the theater where everyone is pissed that I'm there, and I understand why.
You're going to Hoover? That sucks.
We talked about this.
Vacuum company.
We talked about this off the air. I too saw Jackass. Took my 11-year-old and his buddy to the movies last night. One thing that you said that was interesting about that.
One thing.
I couldn't believe how empty the movie theater was. When Emily called, Emily's okay, I'll order the tickets online, and the theater was. I thought, okay, people are gonna just show up at the theater. There were probably a total of 12 people in the entire theater.
There weren't even that many when I went, and it was 7:30,
and it's the first night.
Yeah, and it was the first night. I think it was a preview night because it comes out today. But yeah, it's not even playing in Chestnut Hill. All right, thank you, Bert. We appreciate it. Toy Story's out and everything. That's dominating a lot. Bert, when we come back, very exciting news segment for everybody.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Blue Chew.
interrupt this program for breaking news.
I can't use it.
Newsflash.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. We haven't done news in a very long time, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe
It's been a
so.
while, yeah.
I mean,
But
we kept pushing it back. But what do we have today?
Two
Hardy?
stories that cannot be ignored. One of them, this time of year, a lot of insects flying around, and you remember as a child, Fred, the killer bees were going to be the end of us all, and then you have the murder hornets. Well, these are neither killer bees nor murder hornets, but they did cause quite a stir in the state of Kentucky.
Oh, ever driven through there?
Kentucky? Oh, sure. I've spent time in Kentucky.
You know, a lot of people moving to Louisville now.
That's a nice town.
Yeah, it's become a little bit of a chic destination for some folk. A lot of house for very little money. Whiskey Town.
Spent some time playing the ultimate tournaments in Kentucky.
They're boy
on the horse farms where they also have polo fields. Yeah, in Lexington, where it's about the beautiful acreage and the flat fields. It was great.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah, I mean,
had camped out on the fields overnight before the game. Unfortunately, there were drum circles that were taking place.
Not at a frisbee tournament.
Yeah, that part I didn't enjoy.
Oh boy.
Crashing a car was bad enough, but investigators say it led to two people inside that car being attacked by bees. It happened last night on Patton Spur Road in Laurel County. Police say a car hit a utility pole and bothered a hive of bees nearby. New tonight, Garrett Weimer talks to someone who lives in that area who saw it all happen.
Neighbors along Patton Spur Road are still, buzzing about what happened.
Just the buzzing, and he taped it too.
Just make sure.
Tape it a couple more times, buddy. Before, get it right.
And in case you're wondering, Patton Spur Road runs right alongside Daniel Boone National Forest. just to give you a sense of the geography here, we're call it southeastern Kentucky.
Yeah, we're talking a lot of inbreeding. We're talking.
It's on the road down to Pigeon Forge.
I've been to Pigeon. I've been at Pigeon Forge many times.
Yeah.
Neighbors along Patton Spur Road are still, buzzing about what happened.
Well, I just got done feeding my chickens, watered them, and...
More Healy is down and
I didn't know the Kissingers had relation in Kentucky.
Yeah, we talked to Dr. Miles Copeland, and he had this to say.
This is their eyewitness.
Can you imagine? Well, they know what they're doing. Maybe they don't even know what they're doing.
In this part of the country, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'd like to give them credit to say they know what they're doing.
Because my parents live in East Tennessee, and it's people don't talk like this. It would be really unnerving if you were driving and then you went into a restaurant or something and everyone was talking like this. It's almost like going to another planet. Very rare that there are places in this country with the internet and TV and everything. Yeah. People are exposed to a lot more. The pockets of just not being able to speak are a little interesting.
Well, I just got done feeding my chickens, watered them and stuff, and...
Yeah, feeding them, in quotations.
Visiting.
Let's just say he was smoking a cigarette and looked satisfied. You got to do it.
Well, I just got done feeding my chickens, watered them and stuff, and I walked back to my house there to get my phone so I could play a video game on it.
Of course.
Yeah.
I have my schedule.
It's called numbers. He got his phone and he rotates the numbers. 4.
He's playing with the calculator.
I used to have a calculator. I could spell boobs. You'd have to hold
I highly doubt he could do that. I think you're giving him a lot of credit there. I think it's more like he stuck his finger in the hole of the phone and then made it move in a circle. I played phone. It's a phone by name of Fisher Price.
I was getting ready to play spinner phone.
Yeah.
Hello, I am on the phone. See, fun game.
Now, all of a sudden, I heard a big boom. I looked back out my door, and the electric pole fell, and the lines were falling, and the geo-tracker was sideways into the fence.
You have to. Oh, a geo-tracker. I even got that. Okay, a geo-tracker.
Oh, this is the 5th time I've heard it, and I didn't know what he was saying.
Oh, yeah, you don't know about the mini trucks?
Okay.
Sweet.
A geo-tracker ain't no Suzuki Sidekick, but it's a decent vehicle.
It wasn't a side-by-side. I'm still on that documentary. I wonder when the last time they produced a geo-tracker was. That is something to investigate, because they don't really make mini trucks anymore. That is a mid-2000s, early 2000s phenomenon. I hope I'm not wrong, but I don't know if they still make geo-trackers.
Last produced, let's see, production in the U.S. ended in 2004.
Yeah.
They were made as late as 2016, 10 years ago, but in Ecuador. So I don't think this was an Ecuadorian import.
Yeah. So I figured there was a thing because I used to have the mini truck computer when I did mandatory Metallica.
I knew who was driving it, too. They picked it up when they was in the Galapagos. They
shipped it back. They fell in love with it and just shipped it back. They had to have
They're looking for the blue-footed boobies. Yeah, but they came home with a geo-tracker.
Well, they adventure travel. And so that's the thing is, we're very involved in our archaeology and our hobbies. And they just fell in love with this little tracker.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, this is a minimum 22-year-old geo-tracker.
Yeah, because mini trucks were a sign of great poverty back in the day, and then or lack of taste, certainly. And now to still be driving one is really impressive.
And the geo-tracker was sideways into the fence.
Then the folks inside the car got a big surprise.
Well, he didn't know it, but he found out that there was a hive of bees that was located there.
And that's on him. I mean, if you're going to smash into a pole, at least make sure it doesn't have a hive of bees.
This is, by the way, the official. Now, this is like the sheriff speaking, so if he sounds
I know
more
that because I can
eloquent.
see him with his thumbs in his suspenders.
They didn't know it. Well, they found out. And that's just...
Was he blotting his head with a kerchief as he spoke?
We were investigating. Don't mind our investigation is still ongoing. Woo! Mind your manners. The fake news. Woo! It's a hot one today. Oh, we'll get to it. Don't you worry. When them bees are gone, we'll get over there. Don't worry. But you got to let bees have their day. And you got to wait for them to disperse.
That there was a hive of bees that was located there.
Our initial investigation said they didn't know there was a hive of bees, and then that surprised them. That was our preliminary findings on our investigation. But we are still working on it. We got Clyde, and we got Doofus.
They wanted to bring in somebody from the KBI, the Kentucky Bureau of Investigation.
Well, they couldn't find a horse to get over here on.
You ain't got no jurisdiction here.
Yeah, boy, you got no jurisdiction here. I don't know how they do it in a big city. But you're here on Daniel Boone Way, and we do things my way, and that's to let the bees be. So, scat!
Etch that on the plate and hang it over the shiffer roll.
I don't need some outside agitator coming into my county and tell me to handle the geo-tracker bees. Now get! We can make things very uncomfortable for you around here, boy. Scoot! Scoot! Now get out of here with your big Lexington ideas. Your big college boy ideals. Things are done somewhere around here and works just fine. Now get it. We have more geo-trackers per capita than any county in Kentucky.
Congratulations.
And the bees their bees have a lot of say. They vote here.
Oh,
let the bees
vote?
Yes,
Yeah.
they go by constituency.
Well, sometimes we got our comptroller by just putting honey on the index fingers and seeing how many bees would gather.
My hand. Is that right?
Yeah, we melted popsicles on sidewalk. See how many bees we could attract.
It was called the Nectar Referendum.
Huh? Stop! Get out of here with that. Now you've been found with your words in syllable.
That there was a hive of bees that was located there, and he disturbed them. And there's a guy come out screaming and squalling.
Now, the screaming out and the squalling is where I got a little upset. Because we don't often hear squalling around here. A lot of screaming at night.
Screaming and squalling.
Yeah, you can't be squalling around here.
And running around about like a chicken with head cut off.
Which, by the way, here are several. If you don't know what I'm talking about, come here. See, he's going nuts.
Not my good ones, the only ones that didn't take to my advances. These are I call the less amorous poultry.
Yeah, they're all stuck up. Get out of here. That egg sack ain't even good.
Okay.
What, chickens have egg sacks?
I know.
Anderson then says they ran up the road, grabbed a hose outside his home, and started trying to spray off the bees.
Yeah, so I shot him. You're not allowed on my property. Get off my property at my hose. Get. Bees weren't scared. People took off running.
I told him he needed to get out of that water, but say I didn't know he was getting eaten up by bees. I thought he was just high.
No. No.
Well,
both. Both can be true.
Deputies say the couple were under the influence of drugs. No. They say they had driven down the road looking for a place to swim.
That girl in that little bikini, she had a little red dot over her.
Right even here. Gary Lee.
Okay, I don't understand that. I gotta review what that said. She had little
red dots all over her from the bee stings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
She had a little red dot over her.
Right even here. Gary Lee got stung while he was out there. Needless to say, investigators call it an unusual case, but everyone around here hopes the two learned a serious lesson.
Think they learned their lesson?
I'd say by today they are. If they feel like my leg feels, I'd say they're learning.
In Laurel County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Weimer?
Yeah. All right. Is there time? Should I do this?
Oh, we absolutely should do time because this is something that you have had some experience with yourself, Fred.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe you can relate and empathize to the plight of the people in this story. All they wanted was a nice meal after a long day's work, and things really took a turn.
Now to a story we all wish would be just a gross urban legend. But in McCurtain County, a former Arby's manager is charged with felony poisoning, accused of spitting in a woman's food and giving her herpes as a result.
Oh boy.
We've said this before, but I've worked at, I worked at many, many, many restaurants, and I never saw anyone spit in food. And I think if someone would have spit in food, they would have, I don't think people would have covered up for him. That was, as much as we hated the customers and as much as we, at times treated customers very poorly, I never saw anyone, even the work release guys that would scream and yell and break stuff, ever spit in anything. That's a big thing in movies. I just have never seen it.
I've worked in multiple establishments myself, never saw it, and worked with guys just like you, Fred. Guys who are straight from jail into the pizza and deli. And no, I never saw it.
Guys that fought in the back and stuff, but I never saw anyone spit in anything. And at Honey Baked Ham, there was legitimately guys that they let out of the prison to work over Christmas.
Oh, work
and then
release.
Took them back to prison.
Yeah.
They had guards and because they were just making the hams. Not they just had a guy. It wasn't that big a deal.
Right.
You wouldn't even have noticed, but they're in the back. But yeah, and I never heard of anyone as pissed off as I ever saw anyone. I didn't see anyone spitting food. So I do think that's I would never in a million years do that. That's just so awful.
After a long night bartending, Jenica Church stopped at Arby's in Broken Bow.
It was taking a little bit of time. Thought
they were probably mad at me because it was right about to close.
Yeah, I've been mad too, and we would lock the door of the Blimpies and laugh and give guys the middle finger when they tried to come in, and then start hawking herpes-ridden saliva into food.
Jenica said she had some history with Amanda Hendricks, the manager, but nothing major. She went home, ate, and shared sandwiches with her father-in-law and grandmother-in-law. After that night, Jenica's mouth began to flare up like it never had before. The doctor diagnosed her with herpes.
Several times a week, I get a flare-up. It goes all the way up to the top of my eye twitches.
You had her name? You think she's single? It said in-laws in there a lot. She's not married. I wonder. You know, I like a sultry, puffy lip.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jenica says Amanda Hendricks was bragging about spitting in her sandwiches that night, and Jenica's daughter heard the story. According to the affidavit, Broken Bow police say they pulled cameras and saw Amanda spitting in the food. She's charged with felony poisoning with intent to injure. A warrant has been issued for her arrest.
Now, is this where you want me to tell my tale of Arby's?
I think this would be a good point.
Okay,
yes.
because I will not eat Arby's anymore. And now they certainly did not spit in my food. But this is in East Tennessee. I went to an East Tennessee Arby's. And the woman that handed me the food had active scabbing all over her arms and hands. Like, she reached out. Yeah. I mean, she looked beautiful and really put together. And healthy. I mean, she had a local marathon medal on. She was wearing, she had a U.S. Olympian, by the way. No, she, was all methed out, but like, what do you want, right? But like, she had active, like, I don't understand how she went into work, how anyone let her work there. There were other people there, and she had active scabbing all over her hands and arms.
If they had scabbed over, then it's fine. If they were open sores that were oozing something, then that would be an issue. But the scab is nature's Band-Aid.
It was either she was an IV drug user or she was having a reaction to something. All of it means, like, I can't believe you're really handing food to people. Well, this goes along with my East Tennessee Taco Bell thing, but this is absolutely true, too. I was sitting at a Taco Bell. We had flown in very, very late. The only thing that was open was Taco Bell by the Tennessee airport. And the girl behind the counter goes, hey, watch the register. I got to go take an S. She had to go poo.
Yeah.
And she announced it, and then she walked in front of me and into the bathroom to go take a dump.
I think she should be applauded for her candor.
And, she's handling food and touching things. And she just announced first of all, it's a girl announcing she's taking a dump. Odd.
A problem.
Yeah. This is a fraternity house. This is, and just.
Over-under on washing the hands?
And the thing is, no one laughed or reacted. I swear to God this happened. I think I tweeted it out, like, immediately. And with a picture of the restaurant. I didn't take a picture of her, but the restaurant, like, this is going on right now. Woo! Someone watched the register. I got to take an S. Woo! Diarrhea, probably.
It's going to happen at a Taco Bell, but not at an Arby's. And I'll eat it. I'll eat at both establishments happily. Oh, I'd kill for an Arby's.
I still ate that Taco Bell. I hadn't eaten like a day. I was like dying. I still ate that Taco Bell. The Arby's, I can't eat Arby's anymore. Yeah. It was so gross. It was
Arby's. We have
herpes.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, I'm gonna get a phone call.
I'm gonna get not him. That was Chachi. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Chachi loved Arby's.
Arby's. We have the
fear of infection.
That's great.
Jenica fears it'll impact her service industry work.
Personally, if I go out to eat and I see somebody with that big old thing on their face, I don't want them serving my food. I can't kiss my daughter's face off anymore. That was like my thing. Just kiss your face off. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know. It's sad.
The fallout is tough for Jenica's mother-in-law, Patricia Dollarhite, to even talk about.
I'm sorry. When we were leaving today, my son was sitting at my table and he wanted a kiss, but he could not have one. So you bet I'm angry.
What's going on in this home?
So it is.
So her daughter, and then there's her son, and then there's another daughter.
So it's the woman who got the herpes. It's
Yeah.
her husband. It's their kids. It's her mother-in-law, and it's her grandfather-in-law. And they all live together, and they all ate the Arby's that night.
When you're feeling hungry, you don't want to mess around with
Emotional distress.
But sometimes it happens anyway.
Well, everyone gets to split the mortgage 75 ways, so that helps. It's $5 a month once you put it all together.
So the bartender's husband who picked up the Arby's, he's the one who wanted to kiss his mother before he left for work that day, and he couldn't, and so she's upset.
Yeah, I don't know about these royal families.
Can we hear from the lawyer, please?
I don't want to kiss my husband. He ate the food.
That's what they call it in that house, the food.
The family attorney, Will Blocker, says he's floored that it appeared to be accepted behavior as no.
I remember from Harvard Law class of 72.
Accepted behavior as no other witness employees did anything.
And they let it go all the way out the door to the point my client now has a communicable disease. That has to be culture deeper than just Arby's Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Maybe it's Flynn Restaurant Group and all 300 different kinds of stores they own. I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Oh, yeah.
Boy,
I wonder what he's going after.
Look out! The Broken Bend, Oklahoma attorney's really gonna let you have it.
Yeah, as far as I could tell, this is the Flynn Restaurant Group, all 300 restaurants. We're going to own them all by the end of this.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shaking in my boots if I'm the Arby's Corporation. I'm just
8
like
ounces of thinly sliced, tender
herpes.
Thinly sliced and tender herpes. Well, that's fantastic. All right, Cedric Maxwell, our good friend, is going to join us. Plenty of Celtics talk recently. We will continue the conversation with him in just a moment.
Arby's, we have
herpes.
More toucher.
Jaylen Brown's a big part of us. Like, I'm never gonna predict the future, but you never know. But I don't want to predict the future. But I look at it as this is our team.
His number is retired by the Celtics. He also has been an analyst for the Celtics radio network. You notice I didn't say color analyst anymore, Cedric. I'm just calling you an analyst. Congratulations. We finally made it.
I've moved up. Thank you.
You finally made it. Everyone loves Cedric. Cedric, how's the off season going? How are you enjoying it?
Oh, excellent, man. It's been a great off season, kind of hanging out. But now this Jaylen Brown stuff has come up, and I'm gonna give one 2 word. Call the moving company, okay? It just seems just odd. Brad did not really answer the question. It was a nice question, the way the reporter formed it and said, will he be here? And it wasn't one of those, yep, he'll be here. But, it's just kind of odd because, Jaylen Brown is one of my favorite players.
Yeah. What did you think of when they were so heavily involved in the Giannis deal? Did you like the idea of them doing that?
Not really. But again, not my choice. And the reason I would say that, because I look at what Giannis brings to the table compared to Brown. Brown said, and I know a lot of people are upset right now, some of the things Brown has said, but he said also that he was one of the best, I'm the best two-way player in the game. And defensively, he turned out to be pretty much that, other than, the alien down in San Antonio. So to lose him, to me, would have been somewhat of a blow, because here he was, a fellow MVP in the finals. And, I just love his game. And as he's started to evolve as a player and gotten more mean and a little bit more vicious, it turned me on that much more.
Yeah, I was never in favor of moving on from him either, Max. But I wonder now, this is the big question. Second time he's been offered up in a trade. And I think this one is much more egregious. Coming off of the finals MVP performance 2 years ago, coming off of this past season where he led the team for the majority of it without Jason Tatum. Can they figure out a way, if they want to continue with Jaylen Brown, to make this harmonious in any way and have him play for the team again this season and beyond?
We all have wives or girlfriends in our lives, and we all screw up and we make mistakes, and then we try to make amends. What normally happens, it's like it just doesn't work.
It doesn't go away.
Yeah, they will always remind you. And in Brown's case, regardless of what people think, he's going to be reminded of that. Remember what happened to Ray Allen when Ray Allen was around those last couple of years, and Danny Ainge served him up a couple of times to be traded. And then when he finally got an opportunity to leave, he left. I hope that Jaylen understands that this is more about business. When I got traded, I was so pissed off that I was like, the hell with everything. I didn't think anymore, and it was done. Hopefully he's not like that and thinks that this is a business opportunity for everybody. And with him, being able to be a super max player, he's going to make more money than probably you ever thought about before. But with him, it's also about the respect value. And does he feel disrespected because of all these things about the trade? One thing I will say, Brad, and what Brad's talked about, he's kept Jaylen Brown informed. And that's something that GMs normally don't do. So maybe that works out to the betterment for the Celtics.
Max, what do you make of Jaylen Brown consistently going online and continuing to talk about his situation? Do you think that bothers the Celtics too much, or is it something Brad can overlook?
I think this is a new era, that fans and players are going to be more expressive. I didn't have that platform. He has a platform that he can go on and he can, talk about this kind of stuff. I hate the fact that he's going back and forth with Stephen A. Smith. why does, and I love Stephen A., but why does a elephant concern himself with what an ant's doing? And that's where Jaylen Brown was. Jaylen Brown is this huge, player. And to go back and forth with Stephen A. Smith, to me, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. But I would hope that those outside distractions really don't bother the Celtics for what Jaylen Brown has brought to the table.
Okay, so Cedric, first off, none of us in this room think anything that Jaylen Brown has said is worthy of the Celtics even batting an eye over. It's not like he said anything. But I want to talk to you, like, as a guy who played and a guy who's been pissed off before, the instinct to go online to a relatively small audience, like right after you lost in the first round of the playoffs. This is just about what he's personally feeling, not about what he even said. Like the instinct. So he's talking to 3,000 people and he's on a stream and he's kind of just stream of consciousness talking about, how this was the best, regardless of what he's saying. Like, what is the instinct for that? Because that you could be saying the most brilliant, ideas of all time, but that's not going to get shared by traditional media or by a vast audience. Anything you say that's deemed controversial is going to be shared. What's the instinct in doing that? Why do that?
Just trying to get things off your chest. And, he came up with a season. And this is the thing I hate about all of it, is you keep hearing Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown said, right, Jaylen Brown said, I felt that I loved this season more than any other season. And to me, that was his opinion. I don't know why people are getting so strung up about it. Did the Celtics lose? But did he have a great season? It really doesn't matter. How did he play? He was out there. He played his ass off. If the Celtics were going to get an opportunity to win, it was because of him. I even looked at the last game he played. The game they lost to Philly. He busted his ass out there trying to do so many different things. He blocked shots. He rebounded. He scored the basketball. He made steals. He defended the basketball. So to me, it was just kind of crazy that people kind of kept going back and forth with what he said and what he might have said. And
I agree. But Cedric, that was I don't really care about any of that. It's just I'm more asking like, I don't understand the impulse of going like, I'm going to talk to 3,000 people right now, like for no reason, just kind of off the top of my head for 2 hours. Like,
it's his podcast. His podcast.
Sort of.
It was his podcast.
It's not very good. It's like, you would have been good at it, but it's not like Jaylen Brown's like this, not Draymond Green or you, like, or Charles Barkley. It's like, why? Why are you doing this? I don't know.
He's stepping out, and Jaylen Brown is testing the waters for what he might do. I mean, your opinion of what he's might not be good at, in my opinion, but his opinion is that this is what he wants to do.
I strongly suggest that's not it.
And I don't care what we think and how we think about it. I wish I was in position right now that somebody just gave me about $300 million. Boy, I'd be going poo-poo over all you guys right now.
Well, you have an open forum. Go ahead. You don't need the $300 million. Go crazy.
I don't have the $300 million. If I had $300 million, boy, y'all had to go out and get some brown stuff off your face, because I would be like, oh my God.
Very specific threat, Max.
Max is feeling it this morning.
Yes, I would be. I would be just like that. But I think that we're just kind of going overboard with what he said. I think what I look at is, how did he play? What kind of year did he have? Right. Yeah, at the end of the day, it wasn't about all this, but it's what you did on the court. He was outstanding. I don't think anybody could argue. I mean, even to the point where we looked at last year, I think the first 3 games of the season, the Celtics were 0-3. And we were all looking at each other like, well, this was short-lived. I did not think that they were going to go on a run, that they were one of the better teams in the NBA. They happened to meet a Philadelphia team that just happened to grow a set of nuts at the, during that time of the year where they played extremely well, and then just kind of wet the bed when they went against the New York Knicks. But I love the way they played. The thing that happened to me, they played so hard, and I've said this before about certain teams. I don't think this was the most talented team with the Boston Celtics because they didn't have Tatum for most of the year, and some of the players were just starting to learn the game. But what they did, they played harder than anybody else, and that allowed them to win some games that we would think that they would not have won last year.
Okay, do you think Tatum is definitely the guy you keep? Like, if you're getting rid of one or the other, is Tatum, without a shadow of a doubt, the one that you keep?
I wouldn't know that. And the reason I'll say, I'm not trying to dodge this, but the reason I wouldn't say that is because I don't know the health status of Tatum. I don't know what he is. I know he came back. He had a pretty good, there was still a slight little hitch in his giddy up. So I'm going to take the guy who is coming back from an injury, or I'm going to take the guy who's 100% right now. So I don't know if I would make that choice right now because of that those variables.
Okay, and if you were forced to get rid of Jaylen Brown, I don't need specific players. Are you looking for another superstar? Are you looking for, a tremendous amount of quality depth to surround Tatum with? Like, kind of, if you have to, like if you're being forced to. Ownership is making Cedric Maxwell trade Jaylen Brown. What is the best scenario philosophically in the return that you would receive?
I'd have to get a boatload of players or potential players. I heard some things about New Orleans, that there was a possibility of some stuff happening there, 3-way trades and all this stuff. But I'd have to get back a hell of a player coming back to me, and with an opportunity to pick up some draft picks. That would help me in the future. Jaylen Brown just happens to be one of the best players around. My broadcast partner, Sean Grandy, said something to me the other day, called, and we very seldom we talk, but
Whoa, stop it. You guys are talking socially now, off season?
No, not socially. We were talking about the season.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you're not even in San Antonio, Max.
Did he backtrack again, or what did he do?
No, the question he asked me, the thing that he made, he said, Jaylen Brown right now, if he left today, his number is going to be retired with the Boston Celtics. Do you guys think that would be the case? I was like,
yes, I do.
Yeah, I mean, with the Celtics, yeah.
Yes.
You do?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't think it should be, but I think it might be. Are you asking, do I think if it should be, or are you asking, do I think it will be?
Do you think it would be right now with his body of work? Would you retire his jersey?
I wouldn't do it if I was in charge, but I think the Celtics very well could do it because I can see him coming back, or right after he retires. You know how these things are, Cedric.
How many players from the 2008 squad have their jersey retired now?
It's Pierce and Garnett.
It's this big melodramatic thing, and everyone has these fond memories, and they forget about all the stuff and the negative stuff, and I don't know. It just seems like time would make that happen, but what do I know?
Well, he's the Finals MVP. He helped win you a championship. He's going to be one of the top scorers in the history of the Boston Celtics. So he puts himself on a short track that, you would retire his jersey. But I'm just thinking right now, I remember Cedric Maxwell, how long it took for him to do it. It was like he had been gone about 20 years before they decided, you know what, we're going to retire his jersey. So I just think it's just kind of funny when Sean Grandy would say that immediately this would come to mind that would happen.
Well, he's got to think of something positive. Like he did right at the end of the Philadelphia series that they were playing with house money. Which, by the way, looks like a really good comment now, considering that they're trading Brown. Obviously was felt by the organization as well. But I don't mean to harp on your friend. All right, well, very good.
I tell you what was really interesting when you think about it. Do you think, the way the Knicks were playing, what do you think they would have done to the Celtics if they were undermanned? Excuse me.
They would have destroyed them.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks would have won.
You agree with that, right?
Yes.
And I believe that if the Knicks were healthy and the Celtics were undermanned, yeah. And I think I would rather lose it the other way than actually lose it to the Knicks. I mean, I just something about this Knick thing is just rubbed me. It has rubbed me the wrong way.
No,
it's annoying.
I've never cheered for one team as much as I cheered for San Antonio. But you know, the thing I really loved about it when the Knicks did win, I did not know the outpouring of love or excitement that the New York City had for the Knicks. That was surreal. I don't think anybody could argue that point to see how the Knicks fans turned out. Yeah, I know it's 50-something years. I was still in high school when it happened. But, man, that was pretty exciting to think how, you know, they partied and got so pumped up over that team.
We're late, Max. I just with the Knicks, I found it hard to dislike the players. And if you dislike the laundry, I totally get it. You know, we're coming from different perspectives. But as much as I wanted to dislike Jaylen Brunson during that series, I couldn't. It was just they played too well.
Jaylen Brunson is just you just don't. There's nothing not to like about him.
Yeah,
unless you were trying to buy him a hat. I'm not sure what size hat you get. But other than that,
that's why he braids his hair is to shrink the whole thing. Right?
He put it down in a way that I didn't think that it could happen for the New York Knicks. And Anunoby, the way he played, they were destined to win the way they played. I mean, and oh man, the San Antonio just beat the bed though. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was. You know, I was with you, like with all the Knicks stuff, like it was enough, and I wanted San Antonio to win. But at a certain point, when they kept blowing leads, I was like, you know what, just lose.
They're not ready.
Just go lose. Like already, like I didn't want. Like by the end of the game 5, game 5, right? Like I was
5
like,
was within close.
I was like, you know what? You blew another lead. Just get out of here. Like, don't win this game. Just end it already.
Yeah. I totally agree. When I looked at the Knicks, I was like, I looked at that series. I'm like, damn, San Antonio should be up. And, you know, and I went to analytics. I'm like, they should have won this thing. They could have swept the Knicks.
Sure.
But the Knicks were destined, and the Knicks played with a certain amount of poise and passion that I have not seen a team do in a long time. They played like the Celtics team the Celtics team that won it. When you looked at Porzingis, and there was just precision the way they played with all their players.
All right. Well, Cedric Maxwell, it's a pleasure getting to talk to you in the off season. Continue to enjoy yourself and stay in touch. We would like to talk to you when other things happen. Thank you so much.
Well, if it go down, it will be going down, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. But, you know, right now it's just kind of up in the air, and I know you guys are calling me. I'm doing television tonight, so obviously there's some smoke in the city someplace.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it's going to go.
All right. Absolutely. Thanks, Cedric.
Thanks,
we
Max.
appreciate it.
See you, Max.
All right, gentlemen.
All right. We appreciate it. All right. We will be back in just a moment. where we were having a good time, but it ran us late. What are you going to do?
It was Max. What are you going to do? Cut him off?
No.
He
wanted to be on the show.
He was threatening. He was making scatological threats.
He wasn't in the mood, but I really wanted to go like, okay, like if there was no consequences, you can say whatever you want. Like say it. Like say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Like if it's about us, there will be no consequences. Say
Right.
whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
He never, but I don't think he ever answered my question, which wasn't what Jaylen Brown's saying is what is the instinct to want to go stream yourself live for a couple hours, like right after you lost. Like it's obvious to me. It seems obvious that he felt bad and that he wanted a few thousand people to tell him he was great and, and act like everything's okay. If something's not bothering you, it just doesn't seem like if you're feeling like great about yourself and full of self-confidence,
right,
and there's no real money to be made, like anytime anyone goes, he's making money. No, he's not. Or even the idea that he's auditioning for like media work. That dude's never going to get a job on television ever. Come on. No. I mean, we're going to pretend that Jaylen Brown, the subdued way he speaks, like all these things, there's nothing to do with like his intelligence or anything. It's just that he's not charismatic. You know the guys that are. There's too many guys that are ex-athletes on TV as it is. I can tell you, I can't imagine a world where Jaylen Brown is a successful television commentator. Maybe he could do color commentary on TV or, during games, but certainly not as a studio host or as like a talking head. No way. Some of them are really bad too. But I don't know. I just don't, I can't see why it comes from a place of like personal satisfaction.
I got a couple of emails here saying, guys, it has everything to do with him trying to bump up his subscribers. And my answer to that is whatever he makes doing this Twitch feed is a drop in the bucket.
Okay,
I mean,
but just take it.
Of sand.
So, yes, he's doing it to raise his subscribers. Fine, but why does he want those subscribers? And don't say money. It's not money. It's why does he want subscribers? Like, what is that need in him? Again, people, there's like tens of millions of people watching some games he plays in. He plays in front of 18,000 live people a night. Like this stream of, even if he had 15,000 people on the stream, it's like it doesn't matter to him financially. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't. Don't anything. You're wrong, but it means something to him. And I don't know. I don't know. It's almost kind of sad. Like it's just like you get so much glory all the time, and then it's almost like you're addicted to it. Like you got to get it. Like I need this now. This group of like watching him stream. Let's go crazy and say 6,000 people. 6,000 people are watching that. So 6,000 people are telling you that you're great. Okay. Like you just got done with people telling you you're great. Like now you got it today too. It just is. I don't. It's an interesting psychological thing. Maybe we should have a psychologist on.
A psychologist.
Yeah, that too. We can do that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers are the team to go to if you've been injured in a car accident, work, or in a slip and fall. You got to get Glassman. Every time we have an idea for an event or something here at the station, we go,
Shams Charania just told the Get Up program on ESPN that in some of their trade discussions, the Celtics have asked for at least 4 first-round draft picks in return for Brown as part of a deal. Bruins have a first-round pick in tonight's NHL draft. They'll select 23rd overall. Also, Providence Bruins head coach Ryan Muginel has left the organization to join the coaching staff as an assistant in Vancouver. At the World Cup, the U.S. finished up group play with a lot of reserves, and they lost to Turkey in L.A. late last night, 3-2. Austin Trusty and Sebastian Berhalter each scored goals for the U.S., but Turkey scored the game winner in the 98th minute. The American squad is still the winner of their group. They'll play Bosnia-Herzegovina in the knockout round on Wednesday night. Today, group play continues in Foxborough. France will play Norway, and the Red Sox began a 4-game series with the Yankees with a win last night, 6-3 at Fenway Park. They'll play them again tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. They're the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you need to call 128 now at 888-CALL-128. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Deep three, violent two-hand slam. Wow.
98.5 The Sports Hub. When it comes to the show, Hardy thinks the same way you do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
Banter. Nobody asked for Tom Brady's good nut, but we're getting it anyway. Says, I regret to inform you that we're officially living in a nightmare of Tom Brady's creation. He's just unveiled his newest wellness business venture, a line of coconut water beverages called Good Nut, and I really wish I was kidding. I don't know why this person is taking it so personally that he's come out with a coconut water called Good Nut. I mean, his business failings, I don't know how they personally affect this writer. April 1st came and went. He said, you hear Good Nut. This is Tom Brady talking to People magazine after he was done with Parade magazine. He said, you hear Good Nut once and you kind of got to ask about it again.
What?
So I guess it's like it's got an implication that it's somehow sexual. And so everyone's going to buy that for fun. So again, he puts his name on a lot of stuff that doesn't work out, and it kind of seems like it's not going to work out. Like the whole TB brand clothing, I never thought was really going to catch fire with the streetwear kids. And then also, like you go, well, Greg Norman, and then you're like, yeah, but he's not a golfer. Like I don't know who was going to be wanting to walk around with TB12 merchandise on, and ultimately that didn't become anything.
The Greg Norman stuff did fine, and it had a cool logo. It was a shark. Like, you didn't have to care anything about it, and it was fine. But the stuff that Brady is doing, either it's overpriced versions of things that you can already get, and I'm sure what is it, coconut water?
Yeah,
is that what
I'm thinking it's just coconut water.
Coconut water has been around forever.
Yeah.
I mean, go buy coconut water right now.
So
why do I need Tom Brady?
So what they probably did is they said Liquid Death like went crazy, and all it is canned water. But the thing that Liquid Death did, which these people don't realize, is they sent it to like every punk band and like every like out there media person. So like anything you Warped Tour, like whatever the equivalent of Warped Tour, like any punk show, backstage and everything, like Fat Mike doing interviews, like he's holding Liquid Death, like they bombarded like the right places with it.
Yeah.
And it took off. But how many canned waters could have done that? They named it Liquid Death. They got it to the right people's hands. They branded it in like a way that was accepted by people that, you know, have some respect in like a alternative community. And that was the way it was marketed. It's like Supreme. Like I've read a bunch of stuff on like how streetwear becomes streetwear, like how it takes off like that. And like, you know, Supreme was a skate shop in New York. And then it's just
some of it's organic, but I would say never is it a case of going online or going on TV and saying, this is cool. So
right. It comes from like finding like cool people and not necessarily famous, like finding and not influencers. Like Liquid Death did it they were very smart. Like the Bomb Pops, like nobody bands had these Liquid Death with them in like interviews and stuff. They were just smart with it. Anyway, I wouldn't invest in that. So, what's going on with Jaylen Brown? I think I've hit the nail on the head with a lot of the Patriots of that era's business ventures not going to be successful.
But JE11 didn't take off?
No, that was ludicrous. That book didn't seem like a good idea. The TV the films that Amendola and Edelman were making seemed like big wastes of money. Again, lots of money for not a whole lot of results. Yes, John.
We have a price tag, apparently, on what Brad Stevens is asking for.
I have
Jaylen
the
Brown.
audio here.
Okay, this is Shams Charania on with the Get Up program on ESPN this morning.
So just know I haven't seen it, but let's all picture Shams. His hair is well oiled in a pompadour. Am I right or am I wrong?
A lot of product.
Is he wearing a leather jacket? Because he comes correct, even
Sure.
early in the morning. Great deal of manicure.
He changed it up this morning. He's got leather chaps on.
Wow.
And a tank top.
Sweet.
He wouldn't wear a tank top. Maybe under the leather jacket for pleasure later.
Courtney, each day this week, the Boston Celtics have been actively engaged in trade conversations around Jaylen Brown with multiple interested teams. We know they went after Giannis. They offered Jaylen Brown and 2 unprotected first-round picks. They missed out on Giannis. He ends up in Miami. And so now they're left to really pick up the pieces.
Filibustering. Again.
To deal with the fallout. There's been some hard conversations. So where does this go from here? We know they tried to get Giannis, but what's...
Okay.
How many seconds are we in?
This is exactly a minute. And he must have a timer in front of him.
So where does this go from here? We know they tried to get Giannis, but what's the ask now? My understanding is in some cases the Celtics have asked teams for at least 4 first-round picks for Jaylen Brown. He's got 3 years left on his contract at a supermax clip. So where does that put him as far as his value? And if this is a Boston team that's been contending in the Eastern Conference and their potential ask for some teams is a package of picks and players, how have they reimagined this roster moving forward, their finances, their viability as a contender in the Eastern Conference? But I do think as of right now, time will tell which side will bring the urgency to this matter this offseason.
It can't be just picks. You can't not give away, but you can't trade Jaylen Brown for just picks.
Okay,
you need to replace him somehow.
Yeah, well,
you're not going to do that in free agency.
If you're going to maximize Jason Tatum's window, yes, you can't do it for just picks. So my immediate thought when I heard this was, well, what else are they planning?
Right.
If they have this slew of first-round draft picks, they are going to offer those up for
another
who?
move. Yeah, there would be like another couple moves.
Yeah.
I don't think the ask is uniform across the board. You heard Sham say in some cases. I think it varies team to team.
Yeah.
Who they're talking to. You know, if it's a team that doesn't have as much.
No, they want Kawhi Leonard no matter what team they're talking to.
Yes. So it can't take a step back. You need to replace Brown immediately somehow.
Well, I suppose they would say that these picks, like again, these picks aren't for those particular drafts. These picks are going to be for now when we flip them. But you can't deal consecutive first-round picks either,
Correct.
I believe, in the NBA.
Correct.
So.
The way they've gotten around that is with pick swaps on those odd years.
Right, but I think we could get to some real funky dates if they're asking for 4 first-round
Well,
picks.
I mean LaMelo Ball just went for a 2033 first-round pick yesterday. So, yeah, you can go way out there.
That trade makes absolutely no sense to me. But here is Windhorse. I heard this. This is Windhorse talking about the urgency of the Jaylen Brown matter.
Do you feel like you were lied to when you were told that the Celtics weren't shopping Jaylen Brown, or do you honestly think that something happened in the last day
I wasn't told they didn't shop him. I said they hadn't offered him. Those are two different things.
I even understood that. He quite clearly said, I didn't say that he said they're not offering, but business is open.
Yeah.
They're taking offers.
Yeah, they're picking up the phone when it rings.
I mean, I even understood that. I don't know why Lebatard didn't understand that. I think we talked about that. That's exactly what he said. He said that's exactly what he said. Yeah, they're not calling teams, but they're getting a lot of calls from teams and fielding those offers. Business is open. Ugh.
So that was a week ago, and obviously he's offered. He was offered. He's out there. I think one of the most important, the most important thing in the league right now for what's going to happen in the 26-27 season is that Boston's apparently decided that Jaylen Brown probably needs to be traded for them to be, the team that, a competitive team, because that's now going to be the next storyline. Boston examined and then decided we're going all in. But I will say this, Boston could have offered more. They could have put more things in this deal. They did not. So I don't think they viewed this as the be-all, end-all, that they had to get Giannis. It was their only pathway forward. I think Miami clearly had a little bit more urgency. Boston kept some pieces out, which leads me to believe, I don't know, I'm not in Brad Stevens' office right now with all his whiteboards and all his plans, but leads me to believe that Boston thinks it may have some other pathways with Jaylen Brown that go beyond having to sell everything out to get Giannis.
All right. And what is Jaylen Brown saying as this is all going on? Because he's got a lot to say. Well, he's mad at Stephen A. Smith.
Leader behind that was ESPN. ESPN is unethical. And
again, the audio quality he's getting is marvelous. How do you know he's live streaming? Does your phone explode and then does your computer just automatically turn on? Is it like an alien thing where they
this one he's in Cannes. This quote, I believe he's on a stage in Cannes.
Oh, okay.
In France.
Yes,
the south of France.
Correct.
He's got a travel bug.
Mm-hmm. Leader behind that was ESPN. ESPN is unethical, and Stephen A. Smith is the head face of that. But the organization.
That's a resounding round of applause.
Yay!
I really like victim Jaylen Brown. This is exciting for me. Is that again? I don't understand that he's opining publicly. He's doing it at great lengths often, and then whenever anyone insults him or takes umbrage to something that he said, he acts as if that's somehow unique to him,
and that he didn't have anything to do with it. It's like the whole reason why this is happening is because you keep getting on your streams and putting your opinions out there, and it's. Are people not allowed to have opinions on your opinions?
And by the way, do you think Stephen A. Smith doesn't get way more crap than you? And by the way, Stephen A. Smith doesn't have the luxury of having people worship him too. Stephen A. Smith is constantly bombarded, I would imagine, with death threats. I mean, he's constantly bombarded with crap.
Yeah.
We all are. John is, Hardy is, I am. Yes, we talk on the air. And lunatics sit out there and talk about it. But by the way, you have, because of your basketball prowess, have a profile that's very high where Stephen A. Smith's full responsibility as a broadcaster is to react with what people in your position have to say. I don't understand what he assumes is going to happen or why he in any way, shape, or form is a victim in any of this.
And Stephen A.'s job is to react to what you say or do. And in the off season, when you're not doing anything, you could be left alone.
You could be in China and in France, and no one would be talking about you at all or anything that you said.
There are two other things.
They'd be talking about your basketball, and you have every right to talk and say whatever you want, and that's great. And, if anyone says shut up and dribble, that's an issue, and that's going to fall back on the person that said it. All I'm saying is that you're talking to a mass audience. I don't know what you would just want everyone to go cool. People aren't like that.
Yeah.
I knew that when I was 22. What the hell's wrong with you? The minute the internet was invented, it's just everyone's yelling about you and me and everyone else. Go ahead, John.
There are two other obvious things at play here. The more you talk about Stephen A. Smith, the more you just feed the machine for him to come back at you and give him content for a week to dine on this, and he's far better at it than you are. And the last thing, and Stephen A. brought this up yesterday, playing the victim card is disingenuous at best. When people talked about how great he was for about 5 months there while leading the Celtics to a record that no one had predicted.
I just don't know. Again, what he expects to happen when you get on the internet and start talking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you. Yes, it's nice when everyone that's on the stream goes, way to go, bucko. But, outside of that, people are going to say things that aren't nice.
Leader behind that was ESPN. ESPN is unethical, and Stephen A. Smith is the head face of that. But, the organization, the players, they were all in agreement. They all knew what I meant by that. Our team was basically salary dumped. We lost a lot of players. And for us to emerge and still be in the same position.
Yeah, and you were praised for that.
And now Stephen A. Smith has heard that Jaylen Brown has talked about him again, and so this happens.
Getting on my last damn nerves. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he's so full of shit, I want to throw up.
Suddenly, this can't be on ESPN, or does he have a McAfee deal where he gets to cut loose with the language?
Lucky.
He's not hamstrung by not being able to say the S word.
Only he owned his own program.
Do you know how much Stephen A. Smith's being to be on that Mad Dog channel for 2 hours? God. Hachi Machi.
By the way, agreeance, that's a Fred Durst word.
Yeah, I know. And then there was a lot of debate of whether if that was a real word or not.
And it's not.
Okay. I didn't feel comfortable enough in my own knowledge of the English language to get in that.
Getting on my last damn nerves. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he's so full of shit, I want to throw up. Suddenly, we're unethical because we're telling you how your comments came across. I wonder your ass is in France. You can't deal with the heat here in America and justify the way that you've acted since you got bounced out of the playoffs. Nobody's done anything to you, Jaylen Brown. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't even be upset because this should be an indication to you about how small.
And do you see the irony in calling Stephen A. Smith unethical, which is an insult, but then he's upset about people insulting him? Like, you're insulting him. You're insulting people. Everyone's insulting everyone. Me, I insult people every day, and then I get insulted. It's the whole thing. It's the circle of life. But at least I'm being compensated. This is my sole way I'm compensated. Like, I come in here every morning because they pay me. I'm not just doing it online so people tell me that they like me.
Right. Because you've missed the spotlight for 3 whole months a year.
Yeah, or for 2 whole hours after the game was over.
You're right.
People can become, I'm unethical, I'm the leader, ESPN, the entire network. With all the love the network shows you, we're all unethical and I'm the leader. I didn't know you would come across as that soft, bro. You want to talk about accountability and all of that other stuff? Fine, dog. You're welcome to come on the show. I keep talking about that dungeon you in. I'll show you what a studio's supposed to look like. I got one. You want to talk shit about me? You want to question my ethics or whatever? Name the time and place, bro. You name the time, not the place. We gonna do it on my set because I ain't coming to that dungeon. I'll be waiting. See you when I see you.
Again, wrestling is what we're doing. Yeah. But everything's wrestling now, which is one of the prouder things that I've come up with in my brain. Because now everything I see is through that prism. The world of professional wrestling is infiltrated media at all corners, and now this is what everyone in sports media is doing, is wrestling. Like wrestling promos. Hey, check.
Yeah.
I love Stephen A. Smith, and he's wildly talented, but whatever. Anyway, I just... Again, nothing, we all agree on this. I know we do because we all talked about it. Nothing Jaylen Brown has said is particularly upsetting or anything like that. It's just I don't understand what in him needs to do this. All the time, needs to talk to, what are you getting out of this? And then he runs around and is upset when people get upset with him. I don't understand it. You're not a victim. There's nothing in your life that is a victim. And by the way, ESPN does nothing but prop up the NBA, by the way. They made LeBron James into a literal superhero cartoon. Kyle, go ahead.
Hey, Brad Stevens royally botched this trade. If the goal was to shake up the culture and get Giannis, and the deal breakers were Hugo Gonzalez and Baylor Shireman, that's embarrassing.
Not unless he goes and gets another deal that he finds is better than the Giannis deal. I mean, they obviously are getting rid of him, and they obviously think that they have a plan A2. I wouldn't even call it a plan B. They didn't want to. I understand. I understand why they didn't include other players in the Giannis deal because Jaylen Brown was part of that deal. Why should we match what Miami is giving you if we're giving you
a top
an all
15
NBA
player.
piece? No way. Like, just out of ethics and business savvy, I'm just not going to do that. Like, Giannis isn't that important to me. I can move to a plan B. I have a pretty good feeling what Miami's offering you, and you pretty much want the same thing, except Jaylen Brown's in it. No, because Jaylen Brown is too valuable, and now we can turn around and we can move Jaylen Brown for basically that Miami deal, and then I can take those picks and immediately flip them, and I can build out my entire roster. So F you. We said that the first day. You see the Miami deal and you see what Boston offered. I understand why they took the Miami deal, right? But if I also understand why the Celtics went, no, what do you do? No, I'm not matching that. We're giving you an all-NBA player. You're giving you Tyler Hero for 1 year. Get out of here. If you don't want Brown, you don't want Brown. Wait a second, you're saying they don't want Brown? No, I'm saying the Celtics don't want Brown, and that's not that valuable. But it's going to be valuable to someone else. I don't want to get into the whole linguistics thing again.
No, it's not.
I know that upset the audience. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with the award-winning email segment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
No, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
The email segment and also just mail, MAIL segment, is powered by Jeffrey Glassman.
Well done.
Injury lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all seven. So I'm talking about the phone number, which is 617-777-7777, or visit gottagetglassman.com. Now I've achieved. Now I'm going to leave for the weekend. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, good. All right.
Good.
Get a jump start, baby.
All right. So we got a package that Hardy opened. He brought it into the office the other day.
Well, it was addressed to me.
Okay, yeah. All right. So, yeah, okay. I wasn't calling into question you opening the package.
I'm saying it's mine.
Very good. It's yours. So, anyway,
give it.
That's Hardy in a nutshell right there, ladies and gentlemen. Just said you
Not
opened
enough
the package.
snark.
Well, it was addressed to me.
Yeah, you need more snark for it to really land.
I was really trying to this turkey was opening a package.
Right. It was addressed to all of us, but Hardy opened it. No. It was addressed to me.
Listen, God bless you. I apologize. Anyway, so Hardy opens. There's a reason.
Not accepted.
Hardy's, again, I can only try. Hardy is opening a package in the office, and we're like, it's wrapped up like with a million things, and we're like, what the hell is this? And it turns out that it is a very heavy metal tombstone with the face that they took right when this show started of me.
Yep.
Which I asked to be retaken, and it took 2 months to do. And then they haven't done anything with those photos. Those photos, I don't know where they are. They have the photo of the show,
right?
But the photo of me, I don't know. This is still in existence. It's before I fixed my teeth. I'm about 20 pounds heavier, 25 pounds heavier. It's a horrible photo. Everything about it's terrible. I mean, the photo in itself is just bad photography. It's just all awful. But that's not the point. I wish I could show it more, but I don't like the photo. I'm very vain. It says, loving memory of Fred Toucher, January 16th, 1975, which is the date of my birth, to June 5th, 2026, which I suppose is the day that I said, and then the quote, because we talked about this being on my tombstone, says, German porn is by trope scatological.
Now, it is like
on YouTube you can see it.
I don't know what the material is, Fred. It feels like tombstone material, like it's stone or granite. It sounds like glass when you touch it, but somebody went to great lengths to have this made, designed. There's and
it's engraved. It's like full on like engraved. Now it's engraved, I think, in glass, but it is engraved.
Yeah.
Like this didn't cost under $100.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think there's any way.
You know, I haven't spent a lot of time in cemeteries, but I wonder if this is something that you would actually insert into like a granite headstone. Like, you know, this is the piece that kind of goes, you know, in the actual stonework. Like,
well, there was obviously like a palette because there's birds and like vines around me, and then there's a dove in between the dates.
Right.
And I don't think he went, or he or she went, hey,
this will be nice.
Like, I'm just going to put like birds and vines and stuff.
No, I think they ordered this from like a tombstone
from like
company.
a real tombstone company. So yeah, like I think this might be something you actually, like, you're right, like fasten to the or you just lay it on the ground like over the casket.
Maybe.
So I mean, I didn't die on the 5th of June, but I could die on the 5th of June next year. Maybe just cross out the 6th.
Yeah. That's an easy fix.
So I'm gonna give this to my children, and I'm gonna be like, "Don't worry about a thing. It's all taken care of. Daddy took it. Daddy has it taken care of." So we don't know who sent it, but it was quite an impressive thing, and I'm actually getting a little fatigued holding it.
It's heavy.
It's that heavy. So there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe it was from one of those services you see advertised on daytime television. Have all your funeral expenses paid for ahead of time.
Oh yeah.
Then you feel really good about watching TV at that moment in time.
Right. Good morning, gentlemen. Roughly 13-minute mark in hour one of the podcast. The bird was rubbing those goddamn hands again.
Oh, no.
Can't believe this.
I wish I never brought it up now.
Can't believe this is how I start my day. Is he ruffling his feathers in preparation of some sort of mating ritual, or is he getting back at you all for busting balls? Is this the new wall dicking? Bring the gap back and lather up those claws, big fella. That's from Evan.
Okay.
Okay, this was in Slack, but it's also been sent to us in email form, and it is interesting. Dave says, Freddie T, the new Czarface project. Czarface is our friend Esoteric, along with 7L and Inspect the Deck from Wu-Tang Clan. They have a new project with Tom Hardy, the actor Tom Hardy, famous actor. You remember, I told you Esoteric's in Venom for like an awkwardly long time for an extra. It's just him walking down the street in like a pretty tight shot on him, just him walking up to Venom.
Yeah, and he kind of gives them a look as they pass by for it's you don't have to like, oh, there he is. When you're watching the movie, you say, oh, that's...
Like Tom Hardy really, really, really likes 7L and Esoteric.
Yeah.
He says it feels like this is a pretty high effort endeavor, and this is kind of inside, but I'll read it anyway. Also, the fact that he got LP on this album is pretty insane. I've been following both of their careers for over 2 decades, and I remember there being a well-known beef between the two, complete with a pretty insulting diss track. And that is LP. Yeah, he wrote. I know he had a diss track that never came out on an album, but that is available about Esoteric. So, and I like LP a lot, and I love Esoteric and Czarface. So that is actually personally exciting to me that he's got LP on the album.
Is it as bad as the diss track between Korn and Limp Bizkit, All in the Family, which they tried to actually make into a single?
I did not know that was even in existence.
It is one of the top 6 worst things you'll ever hear in your life.
Now, Korn made it or Limp Bizkit made it?
It's Jonathan Davis and Fred Durst.
Now, who are they dissing?
Each other. On the same track.
Oh, so it's like a roast.
Sure.
Okay.
So you're
it's
from
like a
Jacksonville, kicking it with Buffalo Bill. That's an example of one of the disses you'll hear on that diss track.
That's great.
Is
Buffalo Bill from Jacksonville?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I remember we had to play it at my radio station in Las Vegas because at the time we were still playing Limp Bizkit. They were a big artist for us, and Korn, was and probably still is on that station. But I remember playing that at night and thinking, this is not good for anyone. It's not good for them. It's not good for us.
Fieldy is an exceptionally bad bass player and a huge a-hole, just a dick. A really untalented dick. And so untalented that I used to give his record, Fieldy's Dreams, to bands. They would ask for it. I had like 100 of them that the label had sent because they didn't care. They were like, yeah, take them all. They were not selling them. And I gave them, I must have given that, I know for sure I gave one to Dave Grohl that he wanted one. Yeah. I know for sure. And I know I would give them to bands. I'd be like, have you seen this?
Which is kind of makes me like Dave Grohl a little bit more because he presumably likes everything. And to hear that he was actually goofing on something and would finally recognize and admit that something in this world was bad and not worthy of adulation, because he'll be on every documentary. It doesn't matter what you're fawning over. Dave Grohl is there to be a part of it. But the fact that he didn't like that and thought it was funny, good.
So that became something to me that like broke the ice between me and bands. Like it was such a universally despised thing that I used it as a prop to get bands to open up to me and like me because I'm desperate for attention.
Sad day for Massachusetts, boys. If you haven't heard, the last remaining Hooters are shutting down. And now I worry for all the wrestling fans, socially inept and overconfident bros. In lieu of flowers, crack open a cold one in the garage, crank some Seeger and pour one out. The Hoots gave us wings. Now they have theirs.
Okay, so this is a whole situation in Atlanta. I have friends in Atlanta radio, and Hooters has pivoted locally to private. Like they aren't. Whatever company ran them into the ground is no longer involved. So this is a huge windfall for my friends in Atlanta who are by the dozens broadcasting from Hooters. This is like a whole thing down there. So here it's going. It's like a hot fart. No one hears it. But in Atlanta, I mean, it's funny. Like my friends in Atlanta radio are all broadcasting from Hooters now because there's a wave of public support to get behind these new local yokels that are owning them. You know,
There was that one that was still kicking by Legacy Place. I drove past it the other day.
I had a friend who was his son's favorite restaurant. He loved it, and I can't tell you it wasn't for the girls because. Remember, were you with me when we went to Indianapolis, John, to the Hooters? Because everything was closed and we couldn't get a table, but the girls were there.
I was not with you that time. I was physically there, but not with you at that moment.
When the Super Bowl was in Indianapolis, we went into Hooters because whatever was closed, and I gotta that Hooters, it was insane. The girls they had working there for the Super Bowl, it was insane. It was like a penthouse. It was like a bunch of chicks from Penthouse or something.
They brought them in from all over.
Yeah, because it was Indianapolis, and you're like, it's downtown Indianapolis. So you say the girls will probably be pretty attractive, but then you're just like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And there's 100 of them, and you're like, okay.
It's like the strip club on certain weekends in Vegas. Where they'll fly them in from
Key
all
West
over.
too. You'll go, why are the girls here so hot? And they're like, well, we came down from Miami because the strip club puts us up, and we get a free vacation. Right. And you're like, oh, well, here's all my money. All right, we'll be back in just a moment, and then that will be us for the weekend, and then we'll be gone, and there's nothing you can do about it. We won't be here for you to crap on. All right, here are the headlines. and aggravated since we've turned the mics on.
I don't know what it is. I don't have time to think about that right now.
Toucher and Hardy.
It's ridiculous.
The Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey. Hi. We're Toucher and Hardy. What's going on, guys? Hey. What's going on? You tell me. Let's have some fun.
Now all of a sudden, I heard a big boom.
Thank you very much.
Our big boom.
I looked back out my door, and the electric pole fell, and the lines were falling.
Kablowy.
Screaming and squalling.
That's
squall.
We've talked about the Madison Square Garden surveillance systems before. Now, apparently, a hacker has gotten into the database of these surveillance systems and found out that they are keeping dossiers on people who are anti-surveillance system people. And they've, not anything crazy. The dossiers include background information on these people, with their social media handles, their follower accounts, quotes and screenshots of social media posts they've made about facial recognition tech. But, what could it result in? Well, just a reminder here in the AV Club article, which describes Madison Square Garden as a sports/Billy Joel venue, which I think is accurate.
That is accurate.
They said, well, what do they use this facial recognition for? I love reading these because I forget about some of them. A story, this is from 4 years ago. This isn't like it happened last week. They've been doing this for a long time. They reportedly flagged an employee at a law firm who was involved in litigation against a restaurant owned by the company that owns Madison Square Garden. So here's somebody who works at a law firm who is suing a restaurant that is owned by the parent company that owns Madison Square Garden. This person was kicked out of a Rockettes show at Radio City Music Hall.
I'm sure he was devastated.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure he was not there with anyone else and that he was just like, oh, no, I got to go.
Yeah, right?
Don't make me leave.
There was a story earlier this year about the guy who was kicked out because he had designed a shirt mocking Dolan several years back, but who hadn't attended a show at a Madison Square Garden-owned venue for decades. But they flagged him on the surveillance cameras and told he was permanently banned from all of the company's venues.
Yeah. I mean, James Dolan is just an example of that, showing you that money is indeed the key to happiness. I mean, he's obviously an incredibly happy, well-adjusted individual. You know how many people, like, living in, very modest conditions that are 1,000 times happier than James Dolan? It's just, he's just
all of them.
What are you going to do with your time and money? Go scour the world for people who have ever said anything even remotely negative about anything I have any kind of involvement with, and keep them out of my stuff. And I'll pay you, lots of you, and pay millions of dollars for the technology to do so. Congratulations. You're like just so sad.
What are you talking about? Like you personally? No. Anything that I might own or have a piece of, like a restaurant, and if they're ever involved in a lawsuit, I want you to get the names and faces of everyone who works at that law firm who is suing that restaurant, and I want you to ban them from anything that I own. Can you do it? Yes, we can. We have the technology.
I mean, all the world's religions, this is a big tenet, and it's been around since the beginning of time, is like pointless gripes and nonsense, like really get vindictive. Yeah. That's the key to happiness.
Sounds right.
And I can only imagine the incredible pleasure that he gets knowing that these people are getting taken out. When he could be quite literally, money would be not a factor in him doing almost anything in the world. But this is how he chooses to spend his time. That's great.
Yeah.
You would think that you would have friends and things to do, but no. It's just pathetic. If he's more miserable than me.
Yeah, his touring career is now over, apparently.
That's saying
so
something.
He's got time. Not making the music anymore.
I mean, I don't understand why no one gets in his ear and goes like, dude, this is really not, like, you're just so unhappy.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Like, you're just so unhappy. Just try to figure out a way where you can find some peace. Whatever, I know you don't feel like you deserve all this. You have like an imposter syndrome. Nothing is bringing you joy because it's all unearned. I get it.
It's all true, but
like no. But why don't you take your money and like do something great with it, right? Like anything like find a impoverished community in West Virginia and like rebuild the infrastructure of it. Like build a library and a town hall and like, courts and playgrounds and, and then you go there and you're like, hey, and then people are like, oh, thank you, Mr. Dolan. Like you've improved life so much here. And like you've created this infrastructure in this dying town. Our kids finally have somewhere to congregate and play. And you go, oh, it's my pleasure. It's how I like to spend my money, but instead you just keep people out of the garden.
Well, you act like it'd be that easy to go find an impoverished community.
Running around about like a chicken with his head cut off.
That's right.
That girl in that little bikini, she had a little red dot over her.
It's like find like a church or something that needs to be rebuilt or something ravaged by tornado and go in and save the day. Like even if it's
reopen Hooters.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Whoever
There's
does that
an
is
idea.
Just,
I like that idea. Route 1 in Saugus will never be the same.
I love pantyhose. Didn't at Hooters, don't they have to wear pantyhose? Like that's the big thing is they have to wear pantyhose.
Like those big socks.
Oh, yeah. And then big white socks.
I do.
Is that on the list? I didn't know that was on the list.
I just think it's funny that they were like,
cover up.
What's the uniform?
Cover the ankle. Oh, that's good.
Pantyhose. What do they got to wear? Pantyhose.
Real thick.
Real thick pantyhose. Cover up them gams. You ever heard someone say like inappropriate to bring a kid to Hooters? Oh, yes. Women don't exist. Yeah, it's they're wearing, they have boobs covered with shirts. I mean, you can't let them see that. All right. You should have them live in constant shame. All right. That's it for us. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Enjoy your weekend.